How many did you have? Because I know Amy is a big sweet. Oh boy.
We have a cleric, 2 barbarians, a child.
That is my class, child.
Class is child.
I don't see how this
Pretty
is
much
going
at
on.
what AC and health you're sitting at.
Yeah, 2 clerics, 2 clerics, 2 barbarians, a wizard, and a bard.
No, right here for this session.
Yes.
He's a bard.
He's a child.
That is my class. I am
If
child.
we're going by AC and health, he's a musical wizard at this point.
Musical wizard.
That is a good way of just saying what a bard is. They are arcane with music.
Yes.
You are a wizard here.
I just like saying Eldritch Knight
Check and
is
see.
No, yeah. Is it?
wizard, but you can stab people.
Yeah, picking us
Wizard
up.
that can stab people.
Oh, did you figure out the settings?
Well, nah, that's
Yeah,
just war
It's not
magic.
gonna
That's
reset.
arcane trickster.
So I haven't
Figure.
figured that one out yet, but I'll
Okay.
just look back at it and just allow it.
Sure thing. No problem.
Yeah, Eldritch Knight is a wizard, considering that's fireball.
That's fireball. Really don't need any spells 4 through 9 at that point.
Yeah.
On that note, greetings, friends, and welcome to Tales of Ithalian, where a group of nerds and odd ducks play D&D. I'm your storyteller, JARON. There are no announcements or really things to get through. We are on session 9, so I think everyone knows who everyone is at this point. So,
Who are you?
fair question from the guest.
Poop stuff is this?
Without further ado, get comfy, and let's begin. Last we left off, our group of acquaintances known as the Menagerie were looking for some of their own within a magical stronghold, a plane held by someone known as Varkim, the prison of the held mind. They have experienced many things, from fighting the butcher, entering into a strange library that continuously climbed to find their first friend or acquaintance of this group, Care. They then went about, backtracked, and found and talked to a guardian chimera. Battled spiritlings to take back and almost drowned COIL, the second missing member within this prison. And now, following the directions of an ally that was with them in the moment, Jaros, they find themselves entering a room where they believe their last compatriot is CAEDRIK. This group of newly met adventurers continue to wander deeper into this prison, and that is where we left off. As you've entered through the right exit of the orphanage, you find yourself landing within a hallway of black stone walls and floor, almost like a prison dungeon. But this one seems much more aggressive, almost like you feel an aura of unwelcomeness. The darkness envelops you. This place is like a lit night, a dark blue that can be seen into. Your eyes helping you scan about. The smell of iron is what you assume both metal and blood. The ceiling is low in this part, but up ahead is a vertical, cylindrical room that is just at the end of this tunnel that you are in, telling a different story. As you enter in, 2 paths to this room lead to smaller, similar rooms that you stand in now, just off to your left and right. What you assume already look to be form of torture rooms or things of the like. But a much wider, about 15, 16 foot path is ahead of you. The roof is higher, and the walls rise up to meet it in the dark, unlit ceiling. What are you all doing?
So we just exited the previous room, the orphanage.
Yep.
and I haven't actually talked to COIL at all yet. So once we're have inspected the immediate area for hazards,
Make a perception check.
Sure.
Natural 1.
Knowing my luck, almost assuredly.
Everything is fine.
With a blade pointed at his throat.
No, just someone quickly whispering into his ear.
It's okay.
6
Okay.
plus
2 and 3.
1.
1. Oh,
7.
yeah, that's right. 7.
Oof.
Immediately looking about, like, you hear things off in the distance. Near the end of this tunnel, it seems to be mostly quiet, but there is voices, noises. This place isn't empty.
In that case, we'll make this brief. Going to message to COIL. Are you alright?
We're getting out of here.
We need to get CAEDRIK, and then after that we will leave immediately if possible.
We're getting out of here.
Yes. We may need to return to go get a friend that we've left to guard our path. But after that, and CAEDRIK, we are done here.
Okay.
Eyes up. Let's go.
With an 18, Barak, taking an immediate look to the paths left and right, they seem to be a bit more than torture rooms, as you assumed beforehand. It's a little bit hard to make out, but against at least the ends of the walls where you can see directly straight, almost like meeting your gaze as you see into the room, there are large rectangular stone tomb-like containers that are installed into the walls. A mold of roughly, within the two that you can see even right now, an 8-foot tall figure lies empty in its containment. You can't tell how many are in these rooms, but you assume that there could be more. That's what you see.
Can I go look in the containers?
Which path? In this cylindrical room, you're kind of like in a can-shaped room. Off to your left and right, there are two paths leading to smaller rooms like this.
We'll go left.
Okay. So you walk just down this bit of a narrow path. You can fit in it fine, even for your size. You walk into the room. Just off to the left and right, there are two more, both empty. Once again, even the infilling is made of stone, but there are large humanoid shapes that are just empty within it. You stand, there's just one in front of you that you initially saw, now two installed in the sides that are also now empty in this room.
Can I go back to the room on the right instead?
You
Make a
walk,
back trace and go
you
to the
just
other
see
room?
that Barak walks off to the left, is gone for a moment or so. Kind of comes back a bit more of a quickened pace in a step as he brushes past you all, goes to the path to the right this time. And as you walk in, it's the exact same thing. 3 of these things in total, all 3 empty.
Is there anything else in the room besides the creepy empty guys?
Nothing.
Alright, I come back and say there's some stats.
They look humanoid, at least.
Oh, great. Guys, we're gonna fight 6 quartz. No problem. I just come back and tell them that there's 3 humanoid figures in each room. They're just standing there.
They're
not even moving. They're just
No,
statues.
there are not humanoids that are there.
Oh.
They are like stone tombs that have it carved out in the center. There is no one in
Dude,
them.
can I go?
No.
You know, I'm not gonna make any choices on this matter. I'm just gonna go back to the group and stand there.
He's
What
learning.
did you see?
Some humanoid-looking figures just empty, hollowed out, right? Hollowed out.
They were tombs that looked like almost just an outcarving, as if something stepped out of them, like clay that was just molded out.
There's just
They
3
are empty.
Terminators that came out of the wall.
What's a Terminator?
That's not excellent. We may wish to proceed quietly and quickly. Don't wish to linger here.
Do we know where CAEDRIK is in regards to the room structure? No. Not at all? Okay.
So which one will be bigger?
If we want to take a short rest, I can try and see if CAEDRIK is in this room, this section, or we can do it manually.
What are you thinking for what I'm guessing is your arcane way of figuring out where he is?
I can locate objects if they're within 1,000 feet. And he has quite a few unique trinkets on him.
Hopefully they kept those with them, because that's going to be bad if they didn't. So,
At least
let's give your shot a try. It's going to be a lot quicker and a lot more efficient.
It's a matter if we wish to wait here, though. It may take a moment.
There is 6. Whatever it is, I don't believe this is the time to stay put.
That may also be true.
Back to the left.
Yeah, you go
Are there
in.
any more? Is there any more doors in there?
No. Like I said, it's just like the empty, pretty much just the empty tombs that there is. There's no humanoids in them. There is nothing there. It's just outcroppings of things that used to be in them. Like molded from clay and walked out.
That's it.
Unless you guys would like to
Yeah.
explore the room further.
You are sitting in an empty chamber, this large one. It's off to the left and right that in these small outcroppings that there are these little tombs in them.
No more doors or anything.
Right in front of you, there's the large hallway. It's a straight shot.
Let's go. Creeping up the hallway.
You're gonna be going stealthily.
Yes.
Make a stealth check.
Not sure. Hey, big guys over here. Just
What was that?
that. It was solid, hardcore 3. I rolled a nat 1.
Natural
Ooh.
1.
I tripped.
No.
Dies.
Boom.
As he begins walking forward, there's a few seconds where it just looks like he's like trying to go slow as he puts his left hand up against the wall, and he's just following as he goes down the straight hallway. But as he begins to quicken his pace, as he realizes the hallway's a bit longer than he realizes, Care. You look and notice that as Barak's walking, he like swiftens his pace, and as he does, he kicks the ground under him as there's like a bit of a lip that's curled up, and the line of screams and curses that follows out of the orc's mouth reverberates through the hallway back in your direction and ahead.
Coil is learning a
Barak,
lot
you
of new
kind
words.
of stomp on the ground for a few seconds until you...
Casually keep going forward. Act like nothing happened.
Go ahead and make another stealth check.
Let's go
You tried
catch up to him.
tiptoe.
10.
Good.
It's better than what it was.
As you walk on for several minutes, the rest of you kind of following behind Barak in case something
long
jumps out at
hallway.
him first. You all travel until you reach a main chamber, and you find yourself within a sphere-shaped, multi-floored room. You look about. You stand on a floor that makes a ring around the edge of this sphere. Dark iron railings line the very edges of it. A thick, reinforced bottom of this railing with a thinner bar at the top to provide people just from walking over and falling down. In the center, as you look down and see that there are 4 floors. The bottom floor you see is a massive metal pillar, a load-bearing pole that seems to help keep this room and structure standing. Several runes line what would be the corners of its smooth shape, running all the way down to the ground. Several cells line your surrounding area. On either side of you, out of this hallway, you see large bars with maybe a few inches giving space in between them as they run vertically for each cell, installed into the floor and into the ceiling of the cell itself. Some of them have nothing lying within the cold, dark cells. Some of them don't even have prisoners. But you do notice that, for the most part, there is no bed, no small bucket, no anything for them. Just barren stone floors.
Do I see any with people in it?
You do see 1 or 2, but they seem quiet. Curled away, not looking.
Can I whisper at them and say, hey, you're alive?
To your immediate left and right, as you look, there is no one there, but like looking around this entire circumference of this edge, you do see a body or 2 within the same floor as you are at the top floor.
Can I creep around over to him?
I'll finish and then.
Oh, great.
Be afraid.
You notice that there are no doors to any one of these cells. In fact, there look to be small incisions, cuts within the bars, within these large, thick bars to each prison. You notice that it looks like there is a keyhole to 3 of them in succinct line in each and every cell, as if with the right key you could simply turn and pull them right out of the line. As you, Brock, look over the railing to see the multiple floors, the bottom floor you notice is an actual complete one. The dark stone ground connecting and looking to be cemented around the bottom of the pillar. So as everything else has just a large, almost donut-like shape for the floor, looking down, it is completely filled in. Cells lining each and every floor. You seem to have the most, as it is the widest there is, but the second, third, fourth, each and every one of them in this donut shape have cells lining the entire circumference of the wall, the pathway that walks around it.
Better be a prison ride going down.
To the northeast corner, on the floor that you are in this loop, there's a path leading you out of this section, leading ahead into a different segment of this specific prison. What are you doing?
I want to free the prisoners, man.
Okay, well, make a perception check for me.
Oh boy, let's get it. Ooh, 19.
19.
Better than my last 2.
Looking at this floor, there seems to be 2. As you curl around, if you were to curl around to the left, it looks like 4 cells down from you, there is a humanoid. You can't really tell if it's man or elf or anything of the like from this far out yet. But he just, you kind of see him up against what would be the left wall, right in the corner next to the bars, but he's just facing away from you, staring at his wall. And then right next to the northeast path that would lead you out of this section, this room on this floor, you do see that there's just another, it looks like it could be a humanoid, but he's curled up in a ball on the floor.
Great.
He could be dead.
Go for the maybe dead guy or the creepy murderer that's staring in the corner like he's in timeout.
At this point, however,
The Terminators come out.
you do hear coming from the northeast hall, from the other end of you, a stepping into this room. Excuse me. You see what is the guard of this place. Ancient and old, but massively built, almost looking like a Goliath. You see dark, midnight blue stone making up the entire body. The humanoid features are rough, but recognizable. No armor, just large bodies of rock. A white glow coming from the sockets and the mouth. This one in particular carrying what looks to be a whip, but large and made of pure metal as it goes down.
Great. Alright, big boy play. Let's go. 200 IQ. Act like a prisoner?
The rest of you, I'd like to make stealth checks if you are attempting to be stealthy on your own.
Do I have enough time to like
rock.
pop open the cell next to me and like close it and act like I'm a prisoner?
Oh my
Down.
gosh.
Like I said,
that
there's no
one.
door. It is 3 bars in a row on each cell that have like incisions on them that looks like it'd be pulled
You
out, but there's a
stop rolling
keyhole
so
in each
fast.
one of them.
I'm sorry.
Looks like you'd have to turn and then just pull and turn and pull.
Who
How
hasn't
tough
rolled
does this
yet?
guard look?
Who hasn't rolled yet?
Can I take him over the
I
cliff and
believe
hope for the
you
best?
rolled.
Can I give?
Can I go back in the
inspiration?
hallway? Can I just
Oh,
like...
I don't need bark
Oh,
inspiration.
yeah.
No.
Who has low stealth?
You've already rolled your stealth.
We've all
All
already
three of us
rolled.
rolled.
It is something to give before a roll is made.
Yeah, I was going
guys
to,
have
but
to
I
say
didn't realize how many people had already
Hang on, I got a
rolled.
question.
Also, normally Bardic Inspiration means that you have to say something to them, which...
It's gonna break stealth.
Speak-
I
Speaking,
can
you know-
whisper.
Sure.
Nah.
But it would be something to keep in notes, so you're not just yelling it.
Yeah.
So, stealth for the rest of you.
I have a question.
Oh, dang, son.
Do I have an... So you said it's like a donut. He's on the opposite side of me?
You kind of came from what would be the direct south of this room, while the northeast corner of this room
Do I
is
have
where
enough
he's
time to
coming
like hide?
You
like-
can back up into the tunnel, like the
Yeah.
path you just came from. But the thing is, it's not like it's burrowed or down or anything. You're just up against the wall, really hoping he doesn't notice.
Alright, let's do the tunnel. Let's hide.
So, I'll let you make
25.
another stealth check. You would have heard it coming, so 25. 19. 2. Did you pull your cards for the day?
They would be the same cards as yesterday.
Yep.
I'm
Saka.
sorry. I'm not paying attention.
Did you roll stealth?
Yes, I did. I got a nat 1. So it's a 4.
I got 14.
Pass without a trace would have been
I
useful.
love how I'm over here
Yeah,
like, you know,
Yeah.
messing
No,
up
I'm
like,
not-
oh,
I'm not-
I can
I'm not
fix this. I got
reprimanding
a,
you.
I got a
on
good
me to
stealth
remember
check over
that,
here.
not
Gotta,
you,
would you
so.
sneeze? I'm looking at you. He's around the corner. It's like it's like in the murder movie.
That
Where the guy's around the
has
corner. I'm gonna make it and the
five.
hand
Yeah.
grabs him. That's what's gonna
I believe
happen
he
to
does
me.
have a...
So 17 for death. So yeah, it's plus 5.
My defense. This fight's not on me. Okay.
17 for death and
If you didn't try to headbutt the ground, maybe he wouldn't have walked over this way.
Hey, listen. If I hid, he wouldn't have found me. Okay. I'm not the one that messed this one up this time. I started it, but I didn't finish it. She did.
Okay,
If you
thank
hid, that implies you weren't hiding.
that's a 15 for the turtle. Jessidiah.
The turtle got a good roll of stealth.
Decent roll.
What's wrong with this picture, guys? He just beat all of us except for you.
I'm gonna go
Care.
with this group for
As you're-
stealthier group.
As you kind of like look out into this chamber, this large spherical room, and you see it, roll a history check for me.
I don't like how this is going.
This could
Well,
be
at least the wizard's rolling history.
25.
okay. So one of the reasons you're not really stealthing is because it's something that kind of pops into your head from your old teachings, from your old lessons and readings. That, if you're not mistaken, is a golem kind.
I knew it.
As far as you know, the last recorded one was 30 some odd years ago, and he was one of the last of his kind. Gone.
What was his name?
He wouldn't remember. Unspoken hero.
Hey. Ladies and gentlemen, you're about to have a new DM in about a minute.
Oh, no.
You know what? I hope this golem comes in here and kills every one of us. We'll start next. New one. Restart everyone. Kill the kid first. I use him as a shield.
This one seems older though.
Oh, shit.
Like, if any of the notes, any of the descriptions that were given, this looks like possibly, if it isn't, it's close to what could have been a first draft.
Wait. Does anybody have, what's it called?
Way
Mending?
more archaic and not at all slimmed out or smooth. It's rough, jagged rock.
You know what I'm talking about, Nick? Yeah.
Closer to its
Just mend him to the
elemental
floor. We'll
brethren
beat him
than
to
anything
death.
else.
How
I
big
don't
is he?
think meant to.
Like, how tall is he?
That would not work.
8 feet.
Alright, guys. Told you. Terminator, man.
Best bet for
His
your
width is
plan
almost
would be
3.5, 4 feet. He is a large built figure.
We can take him.
What do I recall about the temperament and intelligence of Golem-kind?
The most recent and the ones that are most knowledgeable when it comes to it, and the last ones they weren't idiots. They could speak normally the language that their creators could. And on top of that, it would follow along the lines of a moderate humanoid. Nothing super out of the ordinary or extreme. But for these older ones, no real mentioning of their behavior, as it was more or less just what they looked like.
Okay.
But you do kind of catch yourself at this point standing in the center of the hallway, and you get up against the wall and really hope that it wasn't noticed.
Blunt objects do the best. So does mending.
Mending would not work that heal. What you're
No,
thinking
it's
of is move earth.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I know if you drop him through the floor, he's just gonna live.
Brock wouldn't know this at all.
Dude, this sucks. It's like, I know how to kill this guy, okay,
No,
but it's
no,
like,
no,
but you
no.
don't. It's like, you know it, but you can't know it.
Oh yeah, there's a whole lot of information I have to hold back on.
Alright, then I'm going to we're dead part,
I know.
because I gotta act like I don't know.
You see that it simply looks around,
We can befriend him, he's stupid.
looks down.
I'm fine. You all are doomed.
Any one of you know Primordial?
Guys, from time.
I have an extra language I never picked, I'm not gonna lie to you.
That's
No,
Not how
that's
that
not.
works.
No, I know.
You can't just
I
do
could
that.
never make up my mind on them. Well, yeah, we're working.
Besides, I think primordial is considered an exotic language, so I don't think that would cover it.
Nate, what do you
Draconic.
have? Okay.
Cool. Ooh, wait. Come on, man.
No.
Dang it!
Oh,
And I don't believe DATH'TAN knows it either.
I wouldn't
No.
imagine that.
Because I believe he has the same set as I do.
I figured as such.
Can we draw him a picture?
You see that it looks down. Vakur. Vakur. You hear. below
I come
him.
out, what's up, buddy?
You come out?
No!
Oh, okay.
But I
You
could.
hear under him. Satyr. He looks down. Volcana. Kaldor.
The Kraken.
Vakara. He turns and walks back down the tunnel. Within a few seconds, you see the pillar light, the runes from top to bottom begin to glow and pulse. The pillar itself begins to vibrate, and the sanctum itself, even the hallway you're in, begins to shake.
I
Small
say
bits
we
of
break the
dust
prisoners and we just start a riot.
fall down onto you and around you.
Like, you want your freedom? Help us kill this giant
Soon
rock.
you hear slowly but surely, as all of you just stay frozen, somehow unseen, in the hall, looking, breathing heavily.
Crapping our pants.
You see that the bottom stone floor that was cemented around the pillar is rising like an elevator.
Oh, dude, we should kill him. We
To
should
the
just kill him.
second.
This is not gonna be good.
To the third, up to your level. The metal railing around still stays firm, but now just beyond it is a full floor, as the pillar has ripped and carried up this large chunk of earth. With it are two more of the golem kind. One sits there, a large maul, just resting against his shoulder, holding it in his hand. It's just this square cement block, what would almost be the size of COIL, as he holds it. The second seems to hold this large greatsword, but it's almost split down the center, giving room to almost pin an enemy or keep them there. It's almost like this two large blade with just a empty space riding up the middle. It just sits there. Takes it out of the stone ground as it was planted. With one foot, just steps over the railing, steps over it with the other. Is now off to the left of the tunnel that you are in.
I wish a robot could turn into a cannon and just blow these guys in half.
Message to Bucket.
Bucket was not fast enough to make it out with you guys.
Oh,
so
is he
he's
not?
in the orphanage.
I thought we had talked about he was falling behind us.
He moves 20 around.
Okay.
You guys sprinted and sprinted.
Oh no.
We didn't receive any of that information during the last encounter.
Well, none of you guys were asking where
No,
was
we
Bucket
did! We talked about it!
until the very end, but were you
Yeah.
guys going to sit there and wait?
We weren't told about that particular fact. We would have carried him or something. Something stupid, I'm sure.
We can leave
no.
Bucket. He's not that important.
Nah, it's fine.
Bite
But
your
he might have been able to
tongue.
translate. That would have been a...
He could have came in here.
We
Hey,
could've
where's the
used
boss?
him.
He could have. Oh.
But your tongue bucket was amazing.
Bucket was kind of great.
So how many golems are there? Like 4 or 5? 3? There's 3.
I was thinking in canonicity of what was happening within the range of events, and as soon as you casted,
Locate object.
locate object, it was runtime,
Mm.
and he was no runner.
I'm sad now.
Also, he was down an arm and slowly deteriorating.
Thanks, buddy.
Could we get him an okay proportion on?
If you manage to ever find him again, I guess.
If we ever just manage to find one.
Can't we just go bucket?
We'd have to look at the map.
I think
we'd
we
have
can take
to
'em.
figure stuff out. Alright,
don't
back to
think
the
there's-
current problem at hand. That
You
is
guys
the
take 2
goblins.
more
We have
sessions
dynamite.
going and
We have
finding-
dynamite.
No,
Let's
we're
blow
not.
these guys down.
No.
I'm gonna-
We're gonna blow ourselves up.
I
if
hope
that
Saedric
happens.
isn't in here.
I do
What's
not,
the blast radius on that?
I do not like our
know.
chances, and I would suggest you not be violent.
I want to live.
Yeah, that's exactly what I would like as
Then
well.
don't hit things.
Which is why I messaged you in particular to not, because you're the one who's taking point.
I have no problem just sitting here. I'm not. I know how this is gonna go.
That was the best time for you guys for me to roll a natural 1 on that thing's perception.
Yes.
Um,
What's our plan?
Well,
So the ones that have risen up from the elevator, we're still kind of at a line of sight.
You guys
Are
are
they
in
moving
the
from the
south
elevator?
tunnel that you guys were walking from to begin with.
Gotcha, okay.
Brock poked out, he looked around, then he got back in. The guy from the northeast corner of this sphere room walked in, looked down, spoke, walked out. This large center pillar that was in this room lifted up from the bottom floor all the way to the first where you guys are.
Okay.
And they are now just roaming about. One is kind of standing by the pillar, looking about. The other one with the large sword is now walking away from you guys, and now you are seeing him come into your view, going past the northeast corner hall and beginning to make his way down the right side towards your guys' hallway.
So
And none of you are very well stealthed, you feel.
are they out of sight for right now?
One is still within your sight, looking. His back is turned to you, but he is staring as if he's looking at the northeast hall, and then just on that side, the north
Dude, we
side of
could
this
just
room.
throw that guy right off the balcony and fight the other 2.
There is no fall to be had.
Oh, we
The
should have
stone-
just thrown
the
him
stone
off when we had the
floor-
chance.
The stone floor rose up to pretty much fill in this entire section. So now
Who
this
wants
is
to draw
just a
straws?
single floor with no floors beneath it to your guys' view.
Okay, so turning my back to the one that is within line of sight, would you say he's beyond 60 feet-ish?
From you, because
From
you
a-
guys
for
are
a
in the
reasonable
south
guess.
hall, he's beyond 60 feet.
Okay, turning my back to him and trying to crouch down, I'm going to try to cast Pass Without a Trace, like trying to shield as much light from casting.
Okay.
From him.
Make a sleight of hand check.
$17.
Okay. You turn around, and I believe it's a whisper out of anything. So as you're speaking it and writing the runes just onto the ground, you finish the incantation, and once again, a small flash of brilliant colors of pink, gold, and green flourish into the air, enveil you, and then seem to fade.
So the guy with the
That
whip
should
looks like he's
cover
in
everyone. We
charge.
should be better for now.
He has walked out. He said his orders and walked away, and that's when this
Other two showed up.
elevator lift rose up with the other two.
I should have just started breaking prisoners out.
We're all like grouped together, right?
At this point, yes, you
Okay.
are all in the hall.
I lightly tap onto the side of Brock's leg. Mister?
Yeah.
Sorry, what? If they see us, please don't attack them.
Oh no. That's why we're gonna send you out. They ain't get to kill a kid. Maybe.
I have a new trick I want to try out.
I just casually am like using the stand behind the kid. Go my child. Show me the trick.
Shove.
As I start like taking 2 extra steps back, like it's gonna be okay.
How tall is your character?
Father would be okay with that.
I'll take a knee.
Dude.
Take a knee. Say it to you.
Yeah, well, due to what you discussed with me, you're a few inches over 6 feet.
I am 3'1".
Oh, I crouch. All right, buddy. Go show us what you can do.
I grab the back of your hoodie before you take a step out of line.
I was going to ask you.
Hey, this kid has bigger balls than all of us right now.
I wasn't saying right now. I mean, if
Just tell me. Okay. Get to that point.
He's coming?
To make another stealth check. There's one just doing the rounds, and at this point, because it's been a minute or so, he's been slowly making his way around. Plus 10 to whatever you roll.
Oh.
That's not a 1.
Sorry.
31.
14?
What is it?
With the plus 10?
Oh, plus 10. 24.
Okay.
19.
19.
23.
16. 16.
Okay. So, everyone beat a 15.
I got so scared you looked at me last like, oh, buddy, it's going to be because of you.
Real quick, DATH'TAN. He's fine. That's a 29.
If Uwe gives us
Yeah, I
up,
believe
we're
he
throwing
just-
him out.
No, just passively.
Yeah.
Jesidiah, 25.
Wow, this turtle's... When we don't need it, he's really doing something.
You see that all of you just get as close as you can to the wall, tucking, and as the
I
large
didn't know
golem kind with the strange but large greatsword walks past it, hauled over his shoulder just like the other one, he begins to turn for the other one. Kor. His head turns as he walks. And just continues to walk past.
Okay, plan. We got to do something now.
He seems to be not leaving, but just doing another round.
I don't think we can take them in a fight.
We're gonna have to explore the other rings to try to find CAEDRIK.
This is 4 floors of a prison. Where else is he going to be?
Did they all move up to the same floor, or I may have just
Not
been
all
thinking
not all rings went up.
Okay.
Just the center.
Okay, that's
The
where
center that was cemented around the pillar was lifted to almost like as you guys kind of peaked as it got up to the technically 3rd and 4th, which would be you
Okay.
guys. It was just filling in the floor. It's
Okay,
almost like the
that's where I
donut just
mistaken
becomes a full
my thoughts.
Yeah, no problem.
It's only 2 of them.
Nope.
Okay.
The 3rd went down
Two
the
guards and a
hallway. He's
warden.
no longer there, but
Plus, who knows how many in the three
In the
floors
other
below
floors.
us.
But if we break out the
You
prisoners,
counted
we
6
start a
molds.
riot.
I've only seen 3 of these things so far.
we're just
I'd rather have the few meat shields that would help try to kill them than just fight them by ourselves.
The problem is
I'm sure the POWs will do
from
great.
my understanding,
Deprived.
none of us
hungry.
speak Abyssal. Does anyone? Or sorry, Primordial.
No.
Let me just go
Whatever
whip
he
out
was
my
speaking.
book.
It
real
was not a
quick.
language you understood.
Yeah.
No.
But
This is when Bucky
Maybe
could be-
Care would kind of get what it is, but not really. He wouldn't understand the language, but maybe at least recognize some of the consonants.
Honestly,
I think you. I
okay,
think we have
everything
to
in here
speak
we've
Primordial
killed
to
so far,
activate
right?
the pillar. So
Not true.
Um,
You guys walked away
I
from my camera.
doubt we can.
Okay, the
activate that.
one.
We'd have to.
You think
basically-
these guys are gonna be? They have prisoners
We have
already.
to follow.
You've killed
and
children
stow.
and a fat ogre.
Let's might as well kill these guys too. Maybe the prisoners too. Just kill everything.
Okay, just letting you know.
I believe that is our only option.
I hate you.
Well, you said you've killed everything.
Because
Just
I
letting
always
you know.
like
I
I'm
believe
right
it is our
there,
only
and then
option.
you say
and I
something,
hate
then I
that it's our only
hesitate.
option.
And it's
But
either gonna be good or bad.
What's our only option?
Killing
we
them.
may have to stow away on the center ring, waiting for them to activate it once again to change floors.
Oh yeah, they're not gonna notice that.
Jesidiah goes, well, how do we get to that floor?
Tell a way to turn into a bird. We're just throw them down there.
Excuse me?
I have the,
That would.
You worry me.
I'm sorry. Sorry, Will.
Don't talk.
I don't know how to do this.
Alright, you want to take a vote?
No.
schwalk 'em.
What
please.
other options do we have?
We schwalk 'em.
Bad idea. Automatically
Can you
vetoed.
imagine if we tried to kill this golem and his little pals, and we go
Who's to
into
say
the
they aren't
room,
hive-minded?
or we have to end up going back into that room where all of our worst nightmares come true. We have to face a new one. I'm not willing to chance that.
I am.
If
Because in that room we'll have dynamite and just start throwing it.
Horribly wrong. We can escape to the door behind us and see where it puts us.
Door behind us was the orphanage.
Yes.
It's
Great,
not
we go
a
back and
two-way.
kill
If
the
you're
children.
banking on the random chance of us getting
I will
thrown
not
somewhere,
bank on that, but if
that's what I'm hearing from you.
no other options,
Yes, and then we
I
get
would like
ourselves.
to talk or other interactions first. They may speak common. The Chimera did.
So you want to go ask him? Hey, buddy, how's it going?
You want to go fight a thing made of stone. Do you understand how crazy that is?
Sounds
Do you
better than
think
talking
you
to
can
the
get
thing.
to a hidden point and just talk to them through your spells? Maybe without giving away our location.
We do not know what intelligence they have, but I can try.
I'd go with the warden. He looks like he's, knows more.
Any options on the table right now?
What would you suggest I say then?
Don't kill us, at least.
They
I don't
even
become
know
as
we're
friends.
here.
We are friends, not food.
Yes.
As you continue to discuss thinking of an answer, you feel just a small inkling in your head at first, until beginning to, it's almost like pulling at you, almost like tugging on your shirt for attention, but almost on a mental level.
I am
We can show him the book.
trying
They're
to look
stupid.
as to what direction that pulling is taking me. See what's up with that. Look at my cards and
As you look at the cards and begin to think, a voice simply comes to your head. Hello, who am I speaking with?
Care, Caressin, Sasaakarin, of the City of Cheats.
So irrelevant is what you're saying.
You should ask him for him.
Potentially, but
My name is Varkin.
Oh, he's alive. Oh, shit.
so you live still.
I am simply a projection of what I used to be.
The Chimera is going to get killed.
I left long ago, and I have been here for a long time. I can't leave. I won't spare you the details, care. But I have been following your progress. Your friends at first, but now all of yours. It's impressive how time has changed these simple-minded adventurers into something that could somehow break through this stronghold. And now you find yourself pincered. Tell the orc good job. It's been a while since I've heard orc cussing like that.
I just sit there in shame. Just.
You were not hearing this.
Oh.
He just knows to feel shame.
Let me tell you.
He
Shame,
claps. They come through the
aura.
walls.
It's like a paladin's aura, but just shame.
When I first was here for real, the real me, I would have killed you without a second thought. You are peons. You are somehow rats that have gotten into my home. But at this point, you are more interesting than the others.
Because we killed the butcher.
So,
Technically, he died to natural causes.
I'd like to
Should have worked more on his legs.
offer you something.
I am all ears, Varken. What is your gambit?
I was one of the best minds within my time. This place doubles the time spent in here out there. It's been, if I'm correct, roughly a day, even though it's been about half a day since you've been in here. I did it so that I could do my research, but stay out of the Mad Magi's war, and I could come back with new findings and studies that would still be within my era, if you understand my drift. That failed as I, foolishly, succeeded. The other ways, that map you carry, that is where I was last, before I expired. See, Care, why I choose you out of any one of these simple-minded fools is that I feel like you have an inclination with the arcane. Is this true?
Yes.
Then, I ask you to perfect my work. I was a bit extreme, but I had my reasons. As far as the small talk of the other group, I'm prolific among my time. See, I wasn't just looking into planar travel. That was simplicity in things that were already being done and figured out. I wanted to know what the dimensions had to say. Find out what I was in other places, other existences. I didn't want to just go explore what it could be. I wanted to know what I was, an example. And I wanted to be able to use myself as an army to become legion.
And in this, you were unable to complete.
No, I succeeded. Whether I'm alive or not is a question for myself. I stepped through the portal that is in the other ways, and I've never returned. There are ways to make it safer, final notes that I had before I created and decided to use myself in this experiment of my own. My life's work unanswered. But you are in a beginning stage. It will take time, lots of it. But I am convinced so far that as you're the only one who seems to give a second thought before acting, that you could carry on what I don't know succeeded.
I would be very interested in carrying this out. I imagine these notes are within your sanctum.
The final notes that would be most pertinent are in the other ways. It's a simplistic room, a portal with 2 tables with smatterings of what I left. I didn't even want to trust my sanctum with it, so I placed the notes close to an exit should I had to grab them and run. It never dawned on me that, this would be the case of how things turned out. But there's no way of me getting out of here. But there is a way to find out if I'm alive.
Would you want me to bring your source back, if possible?
I am simply a projection. A watchful eye, a sentry spirit, so to speak, of my master, of the real me. I don't know if I'm alive. I don't know where I went in time in these dimensions, just that they are. If I'm alive, I make the deal simple but sweet. Perfect this spell, make it safer for yourself, and I'm sure that there will be applicable uses to it for yourself. In return, I will call off these dogs that are on your neck.
I happily take this deal. I accept.
How do I know that I can trust you to bring me back? You could simply just grab what you want and walk out the door.
A wizard such as your source, I'm certain has great knowledge. I would be more than ecstatic to glean what I can from these notes. It is in my best interests to follow your instructions. And if you cannot trust me, then trust my selfishness.
I trust your academic mind. I don't have to trust the human. One can betray the other. The heart and mind are constantly fighting.
Very true. And for us, and when I say us, I speak of the Yuan-Ti. The mind rules the heart.
I did not know you were Yuan-Ti. Interesting. I did not think that your race would become this intelligent. Sorry, but where I come from, you are all simple, to put it plainly. Believing in your snake gods, sacrificing your own children to them, eating the hearts, such and such.
Times change, and the unfortunate dilation of time between the other world and this little getaway has escalated that change.
I don't know what time we're in nowadays, and neither do I care. I can't move. I don't really breathe. I'm just here. But you have all interested me. I assume that you're here for the dwarf.
Yes.
Very well. I'll make them grab him. Once they return him to you, they will simply go about their business. Of course, I assume that for the sake of fun and my entertainment, you won't grab on or try to be a hero to the others in here.
They are not my goal or to my interest.
How about your other compatriots?
Jaros, I understand, is important to CAEDRIK and others.
Oh no, I don't care about him. I'm talking about, can you convince your others not to do a prison break?
There may be one or two that will need convincing, but I'm certain they will see pragmatism.
I'm glad, for I'd hate to have to tell the warden of your existence. Play nice and I won't have to put him into attack.
Understood.
He's the floor below you. They'll grab him. They have the key. Care. Before I let you go, do me a favor. A small ask. Do you have parchment and pen?
Always.
Write down these specific runes. He then lists off a set of runes that you don't understand at first, but halfway through he goes, right, I'm guessing you don't know a primordial.
I do not.
You're from Sinai.
Abyssal might be.
I was going to try with... Tell me, do they speak Slytherian there still?
Yes, they do.
Correction. The language is Sinan.
Sinan, not Scytherian? Oh.
Mhm.
I just heard us. Okay.
The current parlance is Sinan.
Good. The cavemen have evolved. Abyssal, you said?
Yes.
That should work fine. He then lifts off base root runes, very old and could be complicated, but he gives you what could be the essential of a circle. And he goes, put them in this order, in that shape, and you'll at least be able to call me. I look forward to working with you on this.
As do I.
I'm glad you could be so amicable. I thought I would have to try a few times before you walked out the door.
I am not as stubborn as certain others.
Oh, and of course, should you pull this off, don't come back. I don't know how I will have changed. And I believe that if I'm alive, I don't want strangers in my home.
Understood.
It will be difficult to explain to myself how the butcher's already dead.
Oopsie. It's not my fault he slipped. You're falling and I can't get on. You fell down the stairs.
Everything settled then.
One last thing. As for Jaros, if we do not intend to return,
Nymira seems completely calm at the moment. The two of them are getting along surprisingly well for the backgrounds I'm seeing.
I look forward to the wedding then.
Just like donkey.
Once again, keep in mind that it is your intelligence I'm seeking, not your friendship. Try not to butter me up. I'm not real.
Alright, fair enough. Let's go see CAEDRIK.
You're still talking in your head.
Where's the button on this?
You feel the pole slip away from you.
I have communicated with them.
At this point, you just kind of saw that Care he didn't like cloud over, he didn't start talking to himself, but he just remained 1,000-yard stare for a solid few minutes. And at this point, you just see that the golem kind, almost like frozen in time, have just stood still.
I have just had a very enlightening conversation.
With
Yourself?
The caretaker. CAEDRIK will be with us shortly.
You see that the one golem kind steps back over the railing. The two of them walk up and put their hand onto the metal pillar.
how do you know this? And who's caretaker?
What did you do?
Hey, what? Get your hands off me!
I point.
The runes on the pillar light again. You hear what seems to be angry dwarvish being yelled into the air as CAEDRIK is punching the thigh of one of these things as it's holding on to him with seemingly no effect. He's not wearing his armor or weapons. But at this point you actually see the one that seems to be the warden is walking out with his equipment back from the northeast hall at this point.
What deal did you
To
He's
CAEDRIK.
punching the thigh until he kind of looks over and slows, staring at the rest of you.
We've paid your bail. It's time to go.
All right then. Rips his arm away from the hand that holds him. Kind of rubbing it. What are you guys waiting for? Alimony? Let's go!
I can understand a lot of your magic, but this is still very confusing.
What deal did you have to make to do this?
I'm gonna message you
We'll discuss this later.
and then say out loud.
Okay. The nature of the deal is complicated. There is a place within this place that we need to go find.
That sounds easy. A place in a place.
As far as you guys see on the map, which I forgot at the moment, but I will grab at the most earliest convenience.
We need to head up to Reflections of Truth and then to the others.
Yeah, there's a few steps to get
From
there.
Faithbreaker, it's a straight
Yes.
shot.
Oh, it's a straight shot?
Mhm.
I thought we had to...
No, because
That's
we're
if you
in
guys wanted to do a
Faithbreaker.
U-turn. You guys had spoken
If we
about
just
doing a
go
U-turn.
That's right.
Straight and exit. Because that was our plan. It was like, if we got orphanage, we could go straight to
You guys are going to spend another 2 sessions looking for Bucket.
Thank you. I'll exit.
Like, see you in 2 days.
See you in 3 months.
I'm gonna miss Bucket.
I'm not.
Karen's not gonna miss that doing that voice probably.
I love doing monotone loud. Speak amongst yourselves for a moment. Have to make some
You know how that
interesting
would
notes.
win if we brought Bucket in here? Bucket walks
I'm
around from
scared.
the big Goliath. Hey, you butthead. Big guy just. And then a bucket.
Good.
Crinkle, crinkle.
Crinkle, crinkle.
Crinkle, crinkle.
Careful.
That was not a spray.
You act like it's the heaviest bag in the world.
It did really hurt.
What? Never mind. Okay. So it is Faithbreaker, then to Ways Out, and then from there, we'll
To the
figure-
other ways, and then...
The other ways, and then it was straight shots
Other
on
ways.
either door to the exits.
Yeah.
You would simply just be leaving.
That sounds very good and ideal. Once we have CAEDRIK is with us, and I guess has the armor and stuff.
You see that at this point, the warden's like handing it to him, and he's placing his armor on himself, placing the gauntlets over.
Alright, so we need to get to the other ways. There are some notes there that Varkin has left. I need to retrieve them.
How do you know that there's notes from Varkin?
Varkin has left a system, something to watch over this place. And he has taken great interest in our progress. While Varkin is away, he wants me to make progress where Varkin has left off.
So, whatever the system is, wants you to make progress for Varkin on Varkin's behalf?
Even though Varkin doesn't know about it.
DATH'TAN kind of steps in, and you were speaking to Varkin.
Not to Varkin himself, but to a message he left behind.
You should have asked him if
For
he could keep the
you.
robot.
Just to keep an eye on things, not for me specifically.
Arcane magic is so weird.
I will reinforce that details can be explained later. But what is important is that we do not interact with these other prisoners.
I'm fine with that. Let's just get out of
Perfectly
here.
okay. I am confused and just wish to go.
We need to get out of here and progress.
You see that Jediah goes, thank.
Oh no, he's falling asleep.
I'm sorry. I'm melting on the inside at this moment. Shall we get a move on?
Yes, please. Let's take a look at the map.
Satyrs like, yeah, I'm so glad that you made a deal when it came to me. At this point, pretty much fully armored. It takes quite a few minutes to get into plate.
I hope they treated you well.
Yeah, lovely. Heading into the northeast hall out of this place, you reach yet another chamber. The simple square room has a path in front of it as you enter it, leading ahead, further into the prison. But the corners, sides, and even the back corners are several thinner offshoot paths that, as you begin walking and passing through, seem to have actual torture rooms. No one is in them except for some more of the golem kind that are in here. A few sparsely just shifting about. Not quite ready for clientele as of yet. Ahead of you, as you see the golems that have followed stop in this square room, it is a much more thinner and narrower hall than the others, kind of like the one as you first entered. It wouldn't be big enough for many of these things to be following you, or at least they would have to single file one at a time. And even then, it looks like it would be a very tight fit for them. At the end of this is a pristine, very well kept wooden door, detailed with all sorts of filigree design, a large metal orb with different color energies that give a dull swirling light show.
That's interesting. I would like to see if I can attempt to identify what's going on here.
I just go up first.
That'd be Arcana?
Yes.
25.
Seemingly decorative.
Pretty.
Yes, I see. Alright. Pay those no mind.
As you kind of stare at it for a solid minute, just making sure it's safe, you hear,
gosh.
It's a door.
Okay, yeah, no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm beginning to get second thoughts.
Alright, let's go. So looking at the map,
We know what the direct path is between this place and the Faithbreaker, I believe. Yes.
We're in Faithbreaker, I thought.
You are in Faithbreaker.
We're in Faithbreaker.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought there was an
You guys
intermediary
ran
step.
right
No.
into the orphanage.
We
which
went
is where
straight from
Jaron told
Orphanage
you.
to Faithbreaker.
Got it. Right. Okay.
Yep.
Perfect. Oh,
And
in
then
that case,
we
we're
go-
super close.
Through Faithbreaker into the old way?
The
The
other
other
ways.
ways?
Other ways. Yeah.
And then from there, it's the exit.
Yeah. That's super close. Okay. I thought there were more steps. In that case, yeah, right to.
You feel like there was a way for why his expedient, oh, wait a minute, probably came to you at that point.
Got it.
Realizing that you were close to the exit and he had a chance.
Okay. All right.
You just keep going.
Progress. Aye.
Okay. So, is there a marching order?
I'll go first.
Tanks first.
You go first.
I'll go first.
You're the one who's been talking to this.
Care
thing.
walks
You go
through,
first.
door's a mimic,
Yeah.
dies instantly.
He wants to stare at pretty lights for a minute.
Shut up. It's making certain it's safe. One of us pays
Very
attention
good.
to things
Every
not killing
DM
us.
knows the pain of just trying to get their players to walk through the door someday.
That is a 1d4 jump scare.
1d4 jump scare damage.
As you step into the door, I'm assuming Barak said that he would follow. SAAKA, are you going in second?
I'll be at the back.
I'll go in
Alright.
third.
Somewhere mid-pack.
Okay. So if you're going first, Barak, just that will go second. You step into the door leading you out of this room. And Barak, you find yourself stepping into a very, very simple room.
That was easy. It's simple.
Large, cube, stone. Many others in this place, it's similar. You find that the walls to the left and right are large wooden doors. Single doors with a trim of iron, ivory, metal, much like what you remember of the entrance door into this prison. You assume that this will lead you out. A massive lantern light hangs from the roof. The roof itself having 3 large wooden beams running end to end, holding the candelabra-like chain system that holds the dark lantern above, casting a small firelight within the room. But it is what is in the center of the room that grabs your attention. Right in the middle lies a circular stone platform, only a few feet high. Stairs that curl around the entire circumference of the circular platform lead up to it, allowing ease of ascension. 2 stone pillar-like structures, looking as if stone blocks pieced together, piled on top of each other, curl up and inwards over this platform like an incomplete arch. The platform itself is covered in runes. Not just a teleportation circle or anything neat, it is scatterings of runes everywhere. It is an incomprehensible language. It is very old to any of you that even knows how to cast spells or even have an understanding of things with time. Without even having to check or feel or cast a spell for detection magics, this thing gives an aura of power. They sit in a wild disarray, unlit. Just off to the right of this platform, and to the left, are singular tables. Clean, well-crafted, elegant design, dark brown, smooth wooden tables. Several old and dusted pieces of paper seem to carry notes across them all, scattering of them everywhere on the face of each table. Most of them in common.
Can I go read some?
In his place.
Sure.
I am going to carefully start gathering these notes into a collected bundle, a collected stack. Not even going to try and discern which ones are important. Actually, no. Make certain that they're relevant to the dimensional spell that Varkin was referring to, or Shadow Varkin, and then acquiring those.
Okay.
I don't want to take something that Shadow Varkin does not want me to take.
Walking up and looking, he appears to not be lying within the ones that read common. These were his last notes. Either reminders of like when you're in there, when you're doing it. Remember to keep A, B, and C for your own survival in check.
Yep.
Others were questions to walk in and have in the scenarios that he may run into himself. And different points and views. And others were much more on the spell base of how theoretically this could work, how he doesn't know how he will return, but has ideas and theories. And then other ways in different off-branching, incomplete, it's almost like a mathematical equation that is not known.
Okay.
They are runes and different beginnings of spells, incantations, which some you recognize that are used nowadays, but in a much more evolved and modern form than what their ancient roots are. But it looks many different ways that Varkin was attempting to take this to then use as a more safe or even just immediate use precaution for himself.
All right, I will gather all of the notes that
The
are...
others
Oh, even more.
are in a ciphered language. One that seems familiar to you.
I pull out the ciphered letter and compare the cipher.
Exactly the same.
Exactly the same cipher or exactly the same letter?
Not the same letter.
Okay.
Same ciphering.
Okay.
Whatever this code is similar to what your teacher used. It's almost hard to believe, but it appears that your teacher had either found a way or had been taught from an old line of teachings of this cipher specifically. The time wouldn't add up for him to even know of Varkin, but it does appear that the same sort of encoding when it comes to writing letters or secrets has been passed down.
All the stuff that is ciphered, especially that one, I'm going to take that as well.
Okay. In total, you get roughly 105 pages.
Okay.
Are you collecting them all?
All the ones that are related to the spell are
To the spell specifically? So you're leaving the tips and notes.
Things that are like questions he wants to ask future self, I don't have any particular interest in.
Okay.
But things that are at all useful.
In that case, you probably collect... Well, that's a bit more random. I'd say, because the notes were numerous, but not as much as the spell theories, you probably collect roughly 60 pages of both ciphered and common.
The spell theory stuff as well is super important.
Well, that's exactly what I'm saying. That's
Okay.
included in what you were grabbing.
Cool.
It is things on spells, the spell
Okay.
itself, and spell theories. You're getting about 60 pages instead of
Okay.
the 100 and more.
This is why I don't want to be a wizard. Too much paperwork.
He loves paperwork.
He can be a wizard. I stick to my stuff.
I hit good.
Okay. had to make note of that really quick. Sorry.
You're good.
You see that Care walks up and begins to grab and shuffle and neaten and tidy several things as he becomes very selective. For a moment, he pulls out a small piece of paper and he compares it to the Barak as you look at him, just the absolute gobbledygook that is on some of these, and then places it back into his personal belongings and begins collecting them as well.
Is this like 60 pages between both the tables?
Yeah, he's going back and forth and collecting.
What about the pillar you were talking about?
They are like an incomplete arch over the teleportation.
Got it.
They are not just two pillars.
Is that the only thing in the room?
Yeah. Besides that, it's the two doors leading out on either side. This room is very, very simplistic. You feel like this was just a by door.
Got it. If I open other doors, is it like a hallway, or is it just boom? Tell where
As you open the door, there's no strength check needed. They're not frozen over like in the slaughterhouse. You open them, and it's a bright light.
Alright, I'm just gonna close that door.
I'll say that was the one off to your left.
So the
Can I take the rest of the papers? Just look at them. I'm not stealing them. I'm just looking at them. Let me finish before you assume.
Okay, you walk up and
Read
you begin
anything.
checking.
Yeah, light them on fire.
They seem to be personal notes.
Oh, cool. I still want to read them.
It,
As we
it would
leave,
take
we just
time
leave
to
dynamite
get a
lit.
bit more
Yep.
in-depth detailing, I'd say, because you're doing a very much more just
Mhm.
broad view look. It's like, oh, this could be important, this could be important. But it looks to be that there could be almost, even off of your eye, of just the quick glance, anywhere between 2 to 4 different spells that could come from this. Different applications of this sort of magic.
okay. I want to take a glance. So I didn't perceive the full description of the room. In regards to the strong magical aura that you had discussed, is there a construct in this room that makes me think it's crucial to any of these spells?
So, just to give a quick
Yep.
overlay of everything I described before, your mind is on papers.
Yeah.
It looked to be a raised platform of a teleportation circle. A circular stairway that surrounded it, allowing you just to walk right up to it.
Yep.
The teleportation circle is not a circle. It is not neat. It was just almost a mad scattering and array of overlapping runes and everything. The somewhat pillar-like constructs were more like an incomplete arch that was built over it.
Okay.
More of design, or maybe there was a purpose to it.
Okay.
However, besides that, there was a table off to
Got
the
it.
left and
Okay.
right in front of it, and then the doors. Do you feel like there was probably a much more heavier research place within here? As there is on the map, there is both a mention of Varkin's study and laboratory. This just seemed much more of the launch pad, so
Got
to
it.
speak.
Got it. Okay.
Oh, we should check out his
And
voice, though.
as it mentioned before, the projection, or the voice at least, it was speaking more as to the purpose of the notes being here is in case anyone wanted to ransack his sanctum, he wanted them to be at a place where he could grab them and get out of his own home.
Gotcha.
Once again, you figure that he's smart enough to know that it wasn't inconceivable that someone could best his stronghold.
I am going to take out an empty parchment of paper.
Okay.
And quickly write something down, actually.
Are you going to text it to me, or do you wish to?
Yeah, we'll handle that at a later time because it's not at all important at the moment.
Mhm.
And then once I've written that, I'm going to leave it at the center of one of the desks.
Okay. You see that Care kind of takes out his own piece of parchment, a pen, and he begins to... Do you have a feather pen, or...
I imagine it's probably just a straight quill with all the feathers taken off of it.
You begin writing line after line after line, keeping it informative, but brief. efficient. You finish. Place it on the desired table.
I am ready to depart if you are.
Just waiting for you.
Don't we have to go through the other door?
As you look at the map, any one of these two doors will get you out of here.
Before we leave,
Yeah.
you didn't take anything, right?
Sorry, I don't answer to you. You answer to Oogway.
She is right. I would.
Okay, if we're pointing fingers at who took stuff, we both took books. Do you want us to empty all our belongings?
I'm talking
Because
about
you took notes,
From this
we
room.
took I didn't take anything.
Okay, that's what I wanted to.
Did this Vark say anything about thieving?
The messenger that I had spoken to, the thing that Varkin left behind, specifically wanted me to take these notes to expand upon them.
Fuck you, look at me, Oogway.
Take the books at your own risk.
We're taking everything at our own risk.
What?
The turtle is wise.
I'm worried about you.
Not as much as I'm worried about you, man.
Can we leave?
You almost died.
Let's-
Yes.
I'm worried about both of you.
It's harder. Who do I worry about? The turtle with one arm or the small child?
I'm not worried about either.
The child.
Let us go.
I'm just kidding. I don't know how powerful he is. You.
Oogway's pretty.
So, is there a marching order as you walk out?
I'll go first again.
This is
I'll take the back.
5th level druid, right?
I'm fine taking whatever order.
Technically.
You don't know.
I'll
yeah.
take third or fourth.
You
or
don't
whatever.
know. I know.
I could have sworn it was mentioned before. I was just trying to remember.
Okay,
Sure.
well,
I doubt it.
but let's focus on marching order.
Alrighty.
Okay, so Brock leading. Jesiah will once again follow second.
Amy, drop it, chip. Amy's sad.
No problem.
She starts crying.
Breaks down into tears. My chippy.
The rest of you follow suit. As you step into the warm light, the cold wind rushes into you. But it is a fully different sensation than what you're used to. It doesn't push past you, but it grows stronger and begins to feel like it's not pushing against you, but forcing you upwards.
Hope you guys can fly.
Soon you feel like it goes from a simple levitation, a slow lift, into a full-on rocketing into this dark abyss.
Let's get it.
You feel like it's going faster and faster. You begin to truly feel the panic until your feet lightly touch the ground. You find yourself standing immediately in a forested area as one by one you pop back into reality. In the dead of night.
Oh, I can see.
Not very dense. Maybe a few dozen feet of thick grass, bush, and trees. You can already see the clearing, and you see the Neuron Highway, not too far from you all, just north of you. You turn and look about. Brock, you begin to take a step when the small outstretching of metal you can be heard as CAEDRIK's gauntlet grabs onto your hand, stopping you.
You want to hold my hand? Okay.
He points down. As you look, you see a large half-orc man asleep on a knapsack just next to you. His face ashen and cracked, his eyes somewhat clouded with the small slit that's open. His hair well kept, a large greatsword right next to him that he seems to hold within the one hand.
Is it just him?
Looking about, you begin to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Oh, bro.
From large to small, the entire group of the heinous 8 is asleep, but a few feet from you.
Alright, boys. We can easily end this. The book? Dynamite! Let's get it, baby! That clicked so hard in my head. I will shove it down his throat. Just.
Jesidiah is like, he's stage whispering, I suggest we make an exit.
Oh, fuck that. We're gonna get these
I
guys
would
done.
agree with that.
Agree.
Okay,
not what's
I didn't say in his
Okay.
words. It's just infectious.
Thank you.
We need the music to.
I do not trust these as real. Let's get out of here.
I look at you.
I'm shaking my head at you.
I say don't look at them. I'm looking at you straight in the eyes. You and
In
me.
a stage whisper, we won't have another chance like this.
The 8, if their reputation is true, are not idiots.
Sweet, we blow them up and then we hit them with a hammer as they get up.
Be like this. This is a trap.
We're smart enough to have someone on watch at night. They are smart enough to have someone.
Exactly.
But then how are they
On the
not going to see us
opposite hand,
leaving with
they
this
need-
close?
They may be confident in their reputation that they won't need
Let's go. Let's go.
someone.
Let's go. Let's go.
I'm gonna start slowly
Yeah.
making my way.
Jesidiah is already ahead of you, stomping his way ahead. Stealth checks for every single one of you.
How long
Has
does
it been
Pass
an
Without
hour?
Trace last?
Yeah. It lasts for an hour.
I'll say that it's roughly been conversations, all the talk, the time it took to get the armor on, walk through the last room, popping through, probably been 30, 40 minutes.
This would
So,
be the
you guys still have
if
it.
we break stealth because of someone,
Justin got a
we
natural
had the
20.
perfect opportunity
That's 20.
for once.
Hey, wow, Jesidiah got a natural 19.
Oh my god.
Everyone's not wanting to be heard right about now. ANETH, that's not great.
Aneth is fine.
She only has a +5, as it turns out.
Really?
Her proficiency is not in stealth.
I'm surprised.
It's in other dex things. But it doesn't mean that she's bad at what she does.
Hey, okay, what'd you get, kiddo?
I
Okay,
got
going around.
a net
Calcium.
2. 18.
37.
37,
18.
18.
27.
30.
29.
17.
Okay, so a 35 for DATH'TAN, a 30 for 30 for Jesidiah, and a 24 for ANETH.
Okay, let's listen to the dice. I will not blow them up.
As you begin,
I'll blow him up with my
No.
fist.
do you have to? You're gonna
I
punch
cast
him?
explosion. No. No, funny. That'd be to wake up. You wake up.
Elias.
Whoop.
That would be the worst way for you all to die.
See, we
You
go
punch
away,
one of
and
them
then
for
he
6
deals with that
damage,
on his own.
and they just
Wait, no, it would be extra because it's isn't it advantage?
Yes,
'cause-
I'm sure your max like 10 damage from a fist would totally not mean our immediate death.
No, I'd hit him with the warhammer straight in the
It'd be an
dome.
inconvenience to them at best.
The warhammer would probably still be an inconvenience.
Bink. He just looks at me.
So 6 sticks
Oh.
of dynamite wouldn't.
We have no idea what that, how, if they still work, how much damage they're gonna do.
Only one way to find
We
out.
also have 6 pieces of dynamite
Okay,
for people.
you stay
and it takes
here.
time.
Give me dynamite. Give
We're
me 2
not
pieces
Looney
or 1
Tunes,
piece of
bitch.
dynamite.
Stay
I'll stay
here.
here.
We're not
No
Looney
problem.
Wait
Tunes,
2
bitch.
as much as I would
hours.
love to watch one of them wake up, and Kelseyon's like sling a piece of dynamite next to them. Yeah. yeah.
Start rubbing his head. Shh.
Just getting the little Looney Tunes gunpowder going from one end to the other.
Uh-huh.
You, shockingly, are quiet. Like none other. Silent, especially of recent, with how many times you've attempted to and have failed. This time more than ever, you are not attempting. You are being as stealthy as possible for the knowledge of your immediate demise, should this go poorly. Not a rustle, not a sound is made, and besides some natural shifting, they all seem to not react to your escape. You reach the Neuron Highway, giving them the slip to the best of your abilities. Believing that you're unheard in the moment, you look at your surroundings. You are on a descent, a hill, a long one. Taking a moment to calm yourself down, you look and see the crown of Kroldirk, maybe a few miles out. The trail leading down and flattening out to reach the small walls of the mining town of Kroldirk, the massive stone body that surrounds the town in its arms. The mine casting an even darker shadow over the town at this time of night. Looking back up, it looks to be a good long while to travel, but you do recognize the river that stretches on upwards the hill.
Back to Kroldirk, or
Well, do you want to get as far away from the heinous eight as we should? Or, sticking around is always a
Those
good
like anything
idea.
to come across
Well,
the
don't we
trail.
still have that arsonist problem that we should probably deal with?
Like anyone's been on the highway recently.
we have
8%.
it's clear to us that they can keep track of us wherever we go.
What?
It is perhaps best that we stick with people who trust us, at least a little bit. I do not fancy our chances on the road.
So we're going to find an arsonist then.
It's clear that they have plans for that town. At the very least, they want the arsonists to keep doing whatever they're doing. So let's stick with the guards who are helpful and gave us a job.
As long as none of you have to get back in that prison, then sure.
Let's not get
Turn around and go
started.
straight through the door. I'm back!
Don't think there's a door. Oh.
We would totally die before we get back to Bucket. Just say hi to the Chimera again. Hey, how's it going? Your boss is still alive.
Maybe, we don't know. I don't know about you guys, but I'm very tired.
My head still hurts.
Not as much as mine.
I'm not apologizing.
I wouldn't expect you to.
Alright.
Let's just get away from here back to Kroldirk and then figure things out from there. I'm certain that Lux might be interested in our adventure.
I'm not.
Let's get there.
Don't we have a captain to report to?
In
Stop
Kroldirk,
walking.
yes.
Sergeant, I thought.
Huh?
I thought it was a sergeant.
It's a sergeant. Or
Sergeant,
she's a
sorry.
sergeant.
So back to Cleric.
Seller,
Yeah.
yes.
Did you not like her?
She's a perfectly normal individual.
Exactly.
That's exactly why.
That sounds about right though in our group. Anything normal, bad. Anything weird, that's what we want.
I need the quirkiest person.
That little,
The weirdest voice for
that
Jared
little
to make.
goblin with all
There
the
you go.
gunpowder. Yeah.
I said, there you go.
That's
I
not
was agreeing.
General Desmond.
General.
Yeah.
Anyways.
If that man becomes a general, the entire country's screwed.
Amy just got so sad.
It's gonna prosper.
It's gonna prosper.
You all
That's one
begin
thing, Scarlet.
to travel for many hours, as although you are not any of you at death's door, it was still a very long, tiring, and bumps and bruise sort of experience that you all went through.
Skulls were cracked.
But as you
Both sides.
begin to walk, looking amongst each other, this whatever it is, conglomerate, this group of people, is back together. To what ends, to what means, to what benefits. None of you really know for sure. But you're back.
In black.
Sure.
I was gonna add to that.
After a few hours of walking, you begin to see the two guards that met you when you very first entered CAEDRIK. They're a bit of ways away before they see you. Begin walking up, prepping both their rifles. And then one stops, the heavy-set one, large beard. He turns, walks back inside the door. Several minutes pass. Two figures come out with them. You see the same silver hair, large, built figure of Hasela walking out, arms crossed, looking out, waiting for your approach as you continue to get closer. And the one following behind is the golden tiefling, Lux, as he kind of steps out in his night robes that you've seen him wear a few times at this point. As he walks out, he rushes to all of you and rushes and grabs on and hugs onto Care. And he goes, "Friends, I did not expect to see you." As he recoils and he goes, "Sorry."
Like, my bones.
He looks about each and every one of you. He touches you, SAAKA, on the arm. He looks and smiles at KELSION. Then he kneels down to COIL. "You are all right. It's been a little bit.
How long has it been?
A little over a day."
He was right then. How are things here?
As he... Everything's on fire.
Everything is fucked and also something's on fire.
He looks to you all. "Well, we've had no activity from the arsonist as of yet.
Good.
We suspect that if this arsonist is to strike again, it will be in the next few nights. But for now, no word. I think that with the more applicable hands on deck, so to speak, this suspect has not made their move."
That is good. We saw the Heinous Eight, by the way.
To be more accurate, we were in their camp.
Well,
None of them wanted to fight.
Point back to right where we came from.
Everybody pack up. Time to hit the road.
They won't-
Hasela, at this point, is continuing to walk up, and Lux goes, "The Heinous Eight," pointing down the road, and she steps up and she goes, "This past entire 24 hours I had... All right. I had my men right ahead. They must have went right past them."
As we think it's the Heinous Eight.
We didn't stop and have a chat. There's the chance that they are illusions, but we didn't chance it.
All right. I suspect that if they targeted you, they wanted you for questioning. What was the purpose of your kidnapping?
Cedric?
Cedric? I yeet the dwarf towards the sergeant.
Kind of push him along.
I actually think it was a misunderstanding.
Oh, tell us, dear dwarf.
As far as it goes, I think they think we're trying to move in on their territory. Like we're some sort of rival group to them. We offed some of their men. They must have thought that they were, I don't know, moving in on their business. But also they spoke like they knew this arsonist, or at least someone who knew the arsonist. Wanted us out of their business for some reason or the other. I don't think they even know that we're out yet.
It's the first intelligent thing I think I've ever heard you say.
Thanks.
Well,
Asella, how many did you send?
They've already returned. It was only a few hours' ride.
Okay.
It was 6, but they have returned with no findings. Where is your Jaeger friend?
He sacrificed himself within the prison place. It's a very long story that I will tell you in a place that is not outside the city walls.
Trying to, in the sense, asking care.
Mm-hmm.
In the sense, are you saying that he perspired? Our brave barbarian. That he perspired while he was in there, or that he
I
simply
said the
given his
words
time?
that I said.
Understood. Make a deception check.
Okay. I'm not trying to deceive her, though.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is this?
Are you asking whether
I was
I'm making
asking, were you
deception or
trying?
persuasion?
Yeah, are you trying to say he died, or that he is simply he did just not come out?
I'm saying he did not come out, and like, there's a longer story to it that
Persuasion,
we can talk
then.
about later.
Okay.
Um,
I was thinking that you were just trying to get away with like he's dead, lol.
no. I'm gonna use my last card for the day. I foresaw this moment, and that is a 18 in total.
18. As you were looking at your cards this morning before packing your things and going, you had an inkling of a feeling of a conversation that would go like this, as you had overheard Jaros's frustration with the revelation that he had been found out.
Mm.
You'd given it some thought, and along with studying the cards, you had thought up a few ways of how a conversation could go to dodge the real question and keep Hasela and perhaps the guards a bit more focused on other topics. As you tell her this, she kind of looks back to the few miles out. Get inside the walls.
Yes, please.
You all step back into the town of KELSION within a safe haven. It is, at this point, a very cold night. And what seems to be bits of, although the rain is no longer pouring, there is still distant sounds of thunder rumbling. You are all tired, sore, bruised, or still feeling cuts. What are you all doing?
Let's not separate this evening.
I'm gonna go teach the kids how to read.
I would like a
Just kidding.
meal of some sort and then probably a sleep.
Sure thing.
A good nap.
That would be ideal, yes.
I wouldn't argue with that.
At this point, it's been quite a few hours for us.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause-
Yeah, you guys took a long rest after they got you.
okay.
However, even then, that was still the floor of a carpeted area, no real furnishings or
Yep.
anything.
Maybe took a short rest.
No, it was a long one. I let you guys pass with 6 hours.
Do you think the books work out here?
Ah.
You have a higher intelligence. Why don't you open that book up, buddy boy, and I can fix you if you need to.
You're probably lower health.
Actually, no, I'm not. I was 23 out of 33.
Speak amongst yourselves. I'm looking at my notes.
So, open the book.
You lose.
So
Let's not do any experimentation
Any kids
now.
around? Anybody want to make a gold piece? You lose.
27.
I hate harder.
So is this a long rest?
Oh yeah.
We're
Figuring that out,
I think.
sorry.
Well, this depends on where you're wanting to go. I'm simply pulling notes on characters in case you're going back to the bar.
Right.
Okay. I was just asking if
Bar fight.
because if it is a short rest,
Still the bar.
I want to use my Song of Rest feature.
Do we wish to return to the tavern, or
Tavern first, get a good meal, then sleep.
I would agree with that.
Back to the tavern.
How are we gonna go about this arsonist, though?
This arsonist seems way out of line.
Probably
How much food is this place?
next time we go on night patrol, let's do teams of 2. That way we're not soloed out.
I wouldn't even do teams of 2. I would suggest.
Let's stay together.
As you begin walking, Lux catches up with you and he goes, "May I remind you that these people are probably struggling with their food situation. The bar is pretty much used to be feeding the soldiers. You could go, but if you wish, Caedrik and Cathis are always making a meal at the caravan."
It's probably a better idea.
I think that would be an excellent idea, yes. Thank you, Lux.
Of course. Glad to see you're all alive, friends.
Can I go hunting?
I don't realize
We're in the middle of the town.
I can go outside the town.
Civilians.
Yeah.
You can go rat hunting with the child.
Meat's back on the menu.
Go meet up with the hanging
That'll
Satan.
go well. Drag a human civilian in front of the guards.
Can I go hunting with them?
Rat hunting?
Outside? No,
No.
not in the town. I'm talking outside the town.
If you want to
go.
leave town, sure.
I'll leave town. I'm trying to
Are
find
you
these people some food.
serious?
I'm trying to feed the people that are starving.
You do
You're gonna
realize
kill
we went
them.
out of the town. We saw the heinous Satan out of the town, and we came into the town and to be safe. And now you're gonna go back
I'm
outside
sorry,
the town.
Mom. Did I say I was going that direction towards them?
You're
I don't
heading
believe
west
I did.
instead of east.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go towards the. Yeah, you know
Did
what?
you not
I'm just gonna
just
drop
hear-
all my clothing, walk into all 8 of them naked. Let's do this. No.
Did you not just
Might
hear
be a
what
good
Kara
intimidation
said?
tactic.
And then let's try it. Roll a nat 1. You scared?
Didn't Kara just
They'll be more
say
scared of the kid than
stay
me.
together?
Jesse, might I not have that happen?
Okay, you people can starve. Sorry, I tried. I'm listening.
Lux has made his caravan open to everyone.
There's not enough food for this whole place. In my opinion, I'm sorry, this is my opinion only.
They may be able to last a few more days. I would rather that there is a hunting party gathered
Oh, dude, we can easily find one.
rather than you go out alone.
Alright, let's find a hunting party.
It is
Me and the kid!
We're gonna just throw
We run into like a giant bear, it just instantly kills us both.
It is a little late at night to be finding men who are gonna have the energy.
Is it late at night or like very early in the morning? I didn't ask that, I should ask that.
Late
You
day,
see
I
that just
believe.
looks up to the sky. I have
Well,
Oh,
it's been about a day and a half, judging by when we first entered. Noon to late day. Ish.
It's a late night. Not early morning.
Yeah.
Because we were gone a day and a half, so if you left.
Yeah.
None of you really have an estimate, especially where you were, of what time it would actually be.
It's dark.
It is dark, and you assume it is decently late at night to perhaps in the very crack of the early morning hours.
I'm actually not that hungry. We can just go to bed.
Did we end up ever actually sleeping within the town at any point?
You guys slept before your watch. Before the arsonist.
Yeah,
You guys were captured, walked through, and then the last long rest you guys took was in the prison of the Held Mine. And this is a rest you took without COIL or CAEDRIK.
Yep.
So some of you guys are dealing with 6 hours of sleep and a lot of activity in between that time. So some of you, I guess, could actually push on quite a few hours, but by the time it hits morning, you guys would probably be in need of another long rest. Unless you're wanting to take points of exhaustion.
Let's go to the caravan, eat, sleep.
Okay. As you are brought to the west part of town, Lux turns to Jesidiah and you, Barak, and he goes, Jesidiah, I'm assuming that you are going to continue your employment with me. And he goes, I believe so. You seem to be of good folk, Lux. We'll keep the people safe as you travel. We're a little less interesting than the others. He nudges you with his staff.
Yeah.
Well, I'm convinced.
Yeah, no,
Godred, Gathis, and you see the olive-skinned man who's split down the middle in two as the twins connected have finished their large pot of a brimming stew of a main meat along with vegetables and potato. It is hearty, warm, bit salty, very good. It hits the spot that is needed for all of you who have been dealing with smaller food increments. Are you all saying anything as you are near these brilliantly painted and designed wagons? Speaking to one another.
Well,
You guys figure that at this point it's a bit, waking up early would be pretty moot for any long rest.
Is our plan to continue searching for the arsonist?
well, you need your spellcasting permit, so probably best to get that now.
Mhm.
So I
gonna
think
sleep
it would
for
be
6
best
hours.
to do that.
Wake up. Find a hunting party.
Aye.
Go get some food.
Didn't you have a
We'll role
deal
play
made?
Because you
to be
could
able to do
easily
that?
fail
Yeah.
in convincing people
Once
to
we
leave
capture
this
the
country.
arsonist alive, yes.
Can I go with him?
No.
Okay, shut up. I'll go with him.
Make an insight check for me. Continue.
I guess we can discuss our plan in the morning then.
17.
Okay. Pretty, at least something to gather from studying the Half-Orc amongst them. The way she acted, moved, looked, and how she was treating scenarios. You figure that she could have been a tracker of some sort, or has experience with hunting, as she was pretty knowledgeable in the terms
Let's
of
get it. Alright.
when it came to being an important.
Halfling here. I want you
Excuse
to go
you?
versus a bear. No, I'm just kidding. Would you like to go hunting?
Is this in universe, or are you just talking to?
I asked her. She said no.
I like halfling.
Either way.
Chad. It's all good. I can go hunt by myself.
Especially now when you call me halfling.
That's a quick way to get punched. People have been punched for less.
I mean, he kind of deserves crap.
You don't know anything.
You're half of me. You're half of that humor right there. Put into one person.
I hate all of this. Let's go and find a place to sleep somewhere closest to the caravan. Roll out sleeping bags. I have sleeping supplies.
And Lux had them provided some fresh ones to you not too long ago, actually.
That's delightful and useful. Basically, so COIL. Don't need to get all of it, but want to, before we actually go to sleep, just check in and get your story of what happened in the orphanage. How much of it you actually as a person know, as well as like as a player. Basically figure out what all happened with you, go, and everything is fine now.
What I know in person, I've been told Jack.
Make
what I know in
an
character.
intelligence check.
Okay.
This is something specific to the orphanage.
Just what he remembers in general.
Sure, this is something specific to the orphanage.
Oh, this is, okay.
22.
22. Okay. So you do keep your memories.
Excuse me?
That's why, specifically, I didn't talk to you much about it.
Oh.
So that there was a very big chance you wouldn't remember it.
Uh-oh.
But you do. Your experience was, for the most part, calm, but as time passed, more and more time passed, it slowly became weirder and more aggressive. The children were fun, unharmful, wanted to see if you were okay, asked you your name, and just asked if you wanted to join them and play. Take a nap, eat food with them. They didn't speak much of anything outside of this place. Just games to play, things to do. A little while in, they started asking you if you wanted to go join them in the river. A bit scared of water, you declined. But as time passed, it was more of a pushing thing, a peer pressure. Making you clam up a little. As long rests were taken, leaving you there, it became more and more like bullying. As you became a bit more nervous than anything else, it provoked more anger than anything else. And by the time your compatriots had come to grab you, the bigger, stronger kids overpowered you and simply dragged you to the river to drown you and make you one of them.
Oh.
I'm sure that was all very scary, COIL. I hope you understand that those were not children.
He's just fine. Like, he's at a point where he does not want to talk anymore, but he's still trying to be helpful by relaying what he knows anyways.
Okay.
Well, thank you for telling me this. If you need to talk, you know you have my ear.
I give a little nod and then I hug his leg.
I ruffle his ears on top of his head.
Now let's...
You see that he kind of has one lazy eye and one eyelid that's drooping slowly as he's very tired.
Alright, nicer things.
When he tries to pull his hand away, Coil just grabs it, puts it back on top of his head. He's like...
Head pats. Alright, I go and prepare beds for myself and Coil. Talk about lighthearted things and then go to sleep.
Unless anyone is interrupting the two of them.
The baby needed sleep.
Indeed.
Do you need a bottle?
Anyone else? Brock, you're heading to bed. SAAKA?
Straight laying down.
KELSION?
I am dead to the world.
DATH'TAN just walks past as he lays a bit off, but close by in your eyesight. Good night.
Night.
You're gonna pat his head too.
Y'all are cute.
Throw a bone.
KELSION.
Yikes.
What's up?
Strange days, right?
It's only gonna get stranger with this group.
I really hope that's not the case.
I kind of hope so. I'm hoping for some excitement.
But this is weird, right?
In a good way.
At least I'm not crazy.
Oh, no, you're good.
It's better than where we were at least.
Look, if they kill my squirrel, I'm going to be pissed.
Might want to talk to the Half-Orc about that one. She is going to be the closest to doing that.
I think he's getting on the verge of breaking if we don't be careful with him. He's much more skittish than normal.
It may just be the new area, plus wherever we just were. It was a strange place.
Good night.
Good
He
night.
rolls over. Tired. Cold. But warm food in your bellies and blankets in the knapsack that at least keep you from freezing. You go to sleep. A long rest is taken. And that's where we'll take a break.
Sick.
All right.
You all awake in the morning. The thundering clouds have split apart to show the first rays of sunlight hitting the ground and giving you an actual warmth to your skin. The cold wind still blows, but it's a fight right now to see what it's going to be weather-wise, the temperature. As you get up, you can already smell what seems to be breakfast foods, morning meats, and bread being passed along to those who are walking up. The caravan was pretty well stocked. You could probably think that it's been taking a beating in their reserves over the past few days, but they are not out of food yet, and are still trying to be as generous as possible. Morning is here. You have quite a few options at your hands. What are you doing?
Suppose breakfast first, and then we need to have a group discussion about what our plan is in regards to the arsonist and our just general future.
Agreed.
Okay. So,
So breakfast?
with breakfast in hand, I imagine we're all going to go sit in a corner somewhere and talk. Yes?
Mhm.
No?
Sure.
Most likely.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Okay.
Okay. So after breakfast, I'm assuming you're taking the west.
What I'm gonna do is while they are getting breakfast, I'm gonna go. Because my character doesn't need, he can survive with half the rations. So I'm gonna come back and just get a little bowl. And then while they're talking, I'm just gonna eat.
Sure.
So that's what I'm trying to do here.
That's fine. But I'm talking about when you go hunting. I'm assuming you're not heading east
Nope.
to where they are. You're going
Exactly.
out the west. Okay. But for now, you're just silently eating a few feet away so you can hear, but not technically in the conversation. Okay. The menagerie sits, finds a bit more of a desolate area, going to, as you guys are nearby to the west wall of the town. Once again, it's more like just a very tall fence, but going to it, not many people are here as the smell of food is attracting them in different directions. You all are sitting up against the wall or nearby. Some of you are leaning against just the back wall of rickety homes. It's quiet. No one seems to be within earshot but yourselves.
Well, how do we want to go about this?
So I guess our first question is,
In regards to our characters, we need to discuss with CAEDRIK what he knows beforehand. All the stuff that we know as players, but as characters don't know. Like, I imagine I and myself and COIL would have put together, he appeared and then suddenly things happened. DATH'TAN would have put together, oh hey, there was this, definitely something going to happen but didn't.
To me.
So, out of character, at this point I imagine we would have that long discussion about, okay, fill us in on what you know about this.
What exactly happened?
Yeah.
CAEDRIK speaks, for the most part, to the effect of he doesn't know the heinous eight, or as to why specifically that there was some form of targeting. He said that he guessed as to what he was told by the one he describes as Rocks, the leader of the heinous eight, that he had a way of telling when his men were being offed, and when two were already dealt with by, as it was explained, the crystalline man that followed you for a short while. They didn't really pay attention, but as 5 more were dropped off suddenly, they began to think that someone wasn't just being some sort of vigilante or their men weren't bested, but someone was moving in on them. They wanted to nip this in the butt due to connections and to allies they have, along with a mutual agreement. It would have been in their best interest just to nip this in the butt, to get an understanding of what their new competitors look like, size them up. Along with the fact that some allusion to knowing this arsonist, or at least knowing, once again, perhaps the boss of this arsonist. It may, more or less, as the story is told, seem like a misunderstanding. That they thought that you were direct rivals calling them out in an act of extreme violence, while it was much more of a you defending yourself. But you feel like with what was described and how spontaneous of emotion this man could be, that he probably wasn't going to believe you, even if you told him the straight truth of you weren't trying to take his territory.
Doggo.
Yeah,
Is that your doggo?
I think so. That is the gist of what you are caught up on.
Interesting.
So what connection? This has to have a connection between them and the arsonist, and what previously has happened.
Clearly, letting the arsonists continue must further their goals somehow. The exact nature we don't know. But I guess what is more important is what our next step is. If they do have these connections, opposing them is problematic, but it seems like we can't have an agreement with them because their leader is, it sounds like, not very diplomatic.
We're not trying to infringe on their territory.
Just a bad set of coincidences.
Are we capable of trying to capture the arsonist with the heinous aid on our backs?
They may not know that we are out of the prison, so we may have at least that much of an advantage. I would say, so long as we don't just off the arsonist and kill him, we should remain undetected.
We walked through the city in daylight. I do not know whether how far their contacts go. If they have anyone in the city, they probably know that we've returned.
If they can track us and then send us to prison from hell, then I'm sure they'd be able to figure out that we're here.
Yeah.
So assuming that they don't, what is our plan?
Still
Just
probably
do,
best not to kill the arsonist.
If we ever capture the arsonist,
I think that we can capture the arsonist.
how exactly do you plan on doing that?
Give me a sec while I think.
So what is the information we do have on the arsonist? I know it's little, but
So, as far as we understand, the arsonist is either a child or a halfling, one of these short races. We know they strike at night. We know that they are fond of using puppets as a sort of calling card, or maybe as their method of actually starting the fires.
What do we know about the buildings that have been targeted? Any sort of connections?
that's what I was gonna ask next.
I believe we talked to the Hasela about this, and she said it was mostly houses.
But who lived in those houses?
That's a good question. It might be fruitful to talk to Hasela once more.
Mm-hmm. They may be targeting certain
Maybe.
people, certain places.
According to, I believe, Hasela's story, the arsonist was believed to be a younger girl, human or similar. But it was dark and we don't know for sure.
So when did these attacks start happening exactly?
We should probably at least head up to the sergeant. That way, we're not theorizing, and we can get full facts.
Maybe we could create a timeline of when they started to the present.
When, where, and who.
When, exactly. Yes, Karen?
The doppelganger. Did you get any information out of him before he expired?
No, not really.
I wonder what role he has to play in all this.
Just to clarify, you were talking about the doppelganger that supposedly came from Hunter's Lane, right?
Yeah, the one that was like pretending to be Jaros, if
Yeah.
I recall.
I just want to make sure I'm thinking about
Yep.
the right
Yeah.
person.
Yep.
As far as I understand it, that was just an escapee, not really. Probably just trying to get us all trapped in the prison to kill us all. I don't think they serve a purpose towards the arsonists themselves.
But the doppelganger of, if I understand correctly, the doppelganger of Jaros was actually outside the portal, talked to Hasela, and that was the false person. So
Yeah.
they're tied to the Heinous Eight, are they not?
I believe he is tied to the prison because, at least as far as my understanding, Hunter's Lane is mainly meant to get you killed.
Yes.
If a doppelganger could escape, impersonate someone, lead them back into a trap that could get them killed, that could fulfill the purpose of Hunter's Lane. Because he didn't necessarily show up and ask about the arsonist. He showed up in relations to the portal opening.
True, I suppose, but a doppelganger wouldn't have that kind of... A doppelganger who lives in a place that is outside of time would not have information on Jaros like that person did.
But As we know, Jaros was fighting in Hunter's Lane. He could have escaped during that time frame.
Jaros was within Hunter's Lane.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jaros was within Hunter's Lane fighting. Could have escaped at some point.
How would the doppelganger of Jaros know about his connections and allegiances with like CAEDRIK and stuff without having talks to the Heinous Eight? Or to Jaros, but I don't think Jaros talks with him very much, no?
I talked with swords, but I think that's it.
So if he had any actual real information, he must have interacted with someone else other than Jaros.
Well,
But
yeah.
the other question is, how did Jaros get into there?
Make a nature check. Not nature. Yeah, actually.
Me?
Nature or religion.
Why can't I just theorize? Why do I have to make checks?
You're a cleric. You should be great.
I was on a roll in my mind. Now that roll's broken.
Good.
I can do it in religion, right?
Nature or religion?
You're a cleric.
18.
18. You do know of some doppelgangers that can glean very base and beginning thoughts from the person's mind.
What can it take to later?
That as they take the form, they also take some memory, allowing for a better chance of espionage or infiltration.
Okay. That information came to mind. I'd relay that to Care. That could be the way that he at least scratched off surface memories. Because as far as at least I know, what I knew of Jaros was base level face value. I didn't know anything deeper. So I knew of CAEDRIK and ANETH, and then somewhat of Beetle, but those are sort of base information. And as far as maybe talking to the sergeant, it's not hard to pick her out in the crowd and know that she's important to talk to. I believe at that time we were talking to her also, right?
Yes, yeah.
So, just join a large crowd, talk to whoever looks important, seem like you know what you're doing. Doesn't seem too far-fetched for something that's meant for spying and espionage.
If they do have that kind of memory reading, that would make sense. And I'd hoped that we had stopped the arsonists. But I guess that, it's good that we didn't. If I still need to capture them for
Your papers.
the papers, yes. So we clearly cannot split up because of what happened last time.
But if we're in a big group, we may be more easily avoided by the arsonists. So we need to find some sort of happy medium between a smaller group with maneuverability and stealth and a big group of safety.
If only we had a way to communicate with each other. If we went in 3s, or 4s, or 2s.
As far as I know, you can talk to people through their minds, but I don't know the range on that.
Very short, unfortunately. 120 feet.
Do you think Lux might have something that we can borrow?
I thought Lux was leaving.
He might.
He wanted to split from us.
Maybe with the news from CAEDRIK about the Heinous Eight, maybe we might be good. I'm just grasping at straws.
Maybe.
Because magic can do a lot of things, so knowing he's driving that cart full of magical items, there's a slim chance, but there's still one that there might be something there that can help us.
So our goal is to capture the arsonist.
Yes.
Avoid getting killed by the Heinous Eight.
Yes.
Period. I
think the Heinous Eight don't think of us as a threat anymore.
Well, let's just assume they do.
Well, on that note, still, yes.
Is there anything else? Because we're not going to do any good just.
We need
spitballing
to talk to
together.
the sergeant for more information in order to progress any sort of train of thought.
DATH'TAN pipes up and with the new information we have, we could possibly set a trap.
But where?
What kind of trap?
Well, if you are correct and there is some sort of target or pattern, we just paint a nice picture for the arsonist.
But we need to figure out what that pattern is.
Yeah, that's it.
Who or what are they targeting them for what reason in order to make the golden opportunity?
But that is not a bad idea. If there is a pattern and we can figure out that pattern, then setting a trap is definitely our best option. Because then we're not having to scatter ourselves across town hoping to see them. It, whatever it is.
He, she, they, whatever.
Nah, pronoun.
So I guess
I'm just saying that when I used to pick pockets, I would probably go for the one that looked like a baron or a lord or someone who carried money. If this arsonist has any mind of, well, a mind, she will probably go for whatever will entice her most. Just like I would.
It's not actually a bad idea.
To
You're
a
welcome.
cellar then.
Yep.
Alright.
It is not hard to find Hasela. She is not, one, a figure that blends in, and two, she is not even at the tavern bar. As you walk to near the center of town, you find that she is walking amongst some of her men, detaching them and having them scout and move about. And as she walks through the center of town as if she's headed towards the west gate, you end up intercepting her. And how may I help all of you? As she steps forward and stops at your quite large group, Brock breaking off before you reach her.
in regards to the arsonist, we'd like to ask a few more questions about what they've targeted so far /
When,
when.
where, and how.
We know slightly where.
I want to know. And who?
And who?
And who?
All I can think of is the
SAAKA grabs Hasela and screams, "Give us the info! Something we can use!"
Give a solution to the thing that you hired us to go solve.
Yeah.
Isn't that how all this kind of things work?
Could you imagine if, like, Sherlock Holmes beat the crap out of the person that hired him to solve the crime? It's-
Tell me more.
That's just Batman, my guy.
Okay.
She looks to you. As I said before, they were homes, houses, burnt to the ground.
any sort of connection on who lived within each of those homes.
The only one that would have been of note would have been the old, well, they call him mayor, but he didn't really have that much power. But his home was burnt. Besides that, it was good people's homes.
You mean good people just...
Hard workers, people that the people nearby, their neighbors liked, looked up to. Those that are still alive are still doing their best to try and uphold the community. But who knows?
Could her goal be simply destabilization?
That could be it. Just
Seems to be
cause chaos.
So what about...
Strange place to do it, though.
Not
Well,
even
if
from
This
here.
town has no larger regional importance, does it?
Kroldirk isn't any sort of heartbeat of it, but it is quite useful. It supports Repton and the steam mine. For such a small town, it does help quite a few larger places. The machinery and mechanics that aren't run through a mix of magic and metal is powered by coal. As insignificant as it may be here, any of the advanced machines, specifically on Totarum, that are built are fueled by the mines of KELSION.
What were the profession of the other citizens other than the old mayor? What were their professions?
If you were here, you had very few job options. It was either help with the stables as more of as a volunteer thing, be a miner, go work at the tavern bar.
So what exactly did they do?
In what profession are you speaking of?
No, I'm talking about the people that
Like,
lived.
were they all miners? And if so, how high up in the sort of chain were they?
As far as I know, there was no real large rank. It was just the mayor was one of the overseers, and the others were just hard workers. Some held more rep amongst the others just due to who they were. Good people.
In the mines?
She may be targeting leader figures.
Mm-hmm.
Target those who are hardworking, high
So-
respected.
Hoping to demoralize.
Maybe.
But to what end?
So who could possibly be
We may only have one
next?
piece in the whole puzzle.
Let's operate under the assumption that they are attempting to destabilize KELSION, to break the supply line of coal.
Because I mean, the people are
What?
already starving.
Yes.
So
What industry or function are they hampering most by doing so?
They would probably be disrupting the steam mine more than anything else. It's a... I've never been there myself, but it's an interesting laboratory. They make... I mean, as rumors have it, take your pick. Sometimes they say they're making dragons, other times they're saying they're making mechs. But the drills that they've made, the equipment that they've helped create, it's unspeakably helpful.
So this could be a rival nation, potentially.
If this was a nation making its move on Ilkaya, this is sure a strange way to attack it.
maybe it's not as big
The
as
Turnian
nation.
unity is resourceful, useful, and they have us at their disposal, but we don't really have an army to speak of. We're a defense force. The bygone guard, at least. Even with everything scrounged together, it probably would be simpler just to make a full frontal assault. There'd be no purpose to take out our legs, as I don't think we'd win in a full out. Even with our technological advances, all we do is maybe slow the progress.
So maybe an organization not as big as a nation.
Revenge?
With the thought process that you now sent me down, it could be that someone's trying to move in for the supplies.
That would make sense as well if it's a business sabotage.
Perhaps.
So the mayor, you said they called them mayor, but they didn't have much power. What exactly was their duties? Was they, as they said before, just a leader that people looked up to, or
More or less. It wasn't as if they had much to do or much say in any political realm. They maybe had some strings, as the mayor was allowed to participate in certain events or certain meetings, but
such as?
you think I go to those things?
I'm just wondering if there's a connection between whatever supplies or supply chain.
All I'm saying is if anyone were to get letters from the outside world, it would be the mayor. Probably the only one who had any real connection to people with any hold of power.
You're using a lot of past tense. I'm assuming he's dead then.
From the
He was one that was taken by the gnolls. And if anything's to say, that flesh sack in the tavern bar is probably made of him.
And the house was completely burned to the ground, I'm assuming. Nothing's left.
She turns and points to one of the larger buildings that some of you have already gone and investigated before. It wasn't fancy at all. Nothing is here. It was just a little bit bigger than everyone else's. Just so he could have an office and some other spaces to use his work in, really. But, yeah.
Would it be worth to go over each place again, or too time consuming?
I think that maybe one person or 2 or 3, maybe, before nightfall, while the rest of us see about making something for the arsonist to be interested in. It sounds like if the arsonist's goal is sabotaging the welfare and organization of this town, then our bait should be useful to the town itself. If we were to maybe even put a threat upon them of the mine reopening, that would catch their interest.
But would that set a location for them to specifically strike? I doubt this firebug would want to just start bombing the mine itself.
Who would make those decisions of the mine reopening or not opening? Or...
Well, the new mayor.
And who might that be?
Enoch.
Maybe.
He's stressed. No real voting is more. He was just chosen in. He was more or less the right-hand man of latest mayor.
So does he have an office? Or... Just wondering.
No. You'll probably just find him going about the town, being a busybody, trying to help who he can.
That may be.
That sounds like an excellent start to...
You saying that you're wanting to lure the arsonist into something?
Not necessarily lure, but if we've learned anything, we cannot split up as we did last time. If
That
the
is a pretty
heinous
good
eight
point.
are interfering. So, if we want to stay together, we need to select the targets judiciously. So we are not on the wrong side of town if something goes down.
You see, she thinks to herself before. I'm not a big fan of putting people at risk. But if Enoch was willing, I'm sure he would be a perfect target to paint. Use it to point in the direction. Maybe he makes this announcement of yours, but more or less makes a defiant statement.
Mm-hmm.
We hole him up and stake it out.
I think that may be our best option.
For certain. Now,
I don't like that being our best option.
Do you have another one?
I would prefer one that doesn't risk the life of anyone. But
Like
if
a
this is
one.
what you are pulling at, could you do it and confirm that Enoch would be safe?
No.
who's to say that Enoch needs to be in the house of his?
If this arsonist has been able to give us the slip for this long and seem to be a step ahead of us, I'm assuming that they have a way of at least blending in with the crowds and watching us. If he is not there, I'm not positive, but there could be the case that this arsonist will know.
The arsonist seems smart enough to see through a trap.
Of course, if you can find a way to shuffle him out of the house before any threat comes to him, that would be greatly appreciated.
So what do you want to do now?
Probably go talk with Enoch, make sure he's willing.
Before we even plan anything, that might be a good first step.
To Sola's knowledge, you kidnap Enoch and just throw him in the house.
Yes, Asada, we got his permission.
He's just like bound, gagged, and beaten to a pulp.
Like, SAAKA has him on his shoulder as we're talking to Hasala.
Yeah.
Yes!
His face looks like hamburger meat.
It's like, yes.
Okay.
Where
Looking
is his house? Or where is he?
I would take a guess. I'd say, honestly, walk around town, ask about. I don't think he's holding up in any location. Like I said, he's trying to go street to street, talk to people.
It's brave.
Let's go talk to people then.
Oh, and you know that's my strong suit. Or
Make perception checks.
Can I ask a thing real quick?
Sure.
COIL walks up and lightly taps on the side of the Sojourn's leg.
She looks down. May I help you?
He's clearly a little intimidated, but he tries to push past it. I know you said that there wasn't a whole lot special about the city, but is there anything special about the land?
The town itself.
The what it's on?
She looks down at the almost grassless, muddy and dirt road. Besides it being in the arms of a coal mine, not really.
He does have an interesting point. Why would the Knolls choose your mine in particular?
Isella thinks for a moment. Well, it's not really my mind. Like I said, we're just pulled up here to try and help the people. What I remember. I mean, if used well, I guess it could just be a place where they could conduct their business without direct interference. For the most part, it was more or less a lucky break for the people that we were here when they came. Normally, there's no guard stationed. The mining town is left to fend for itself. We're normally stretched pretty thin with our own problems anyways. So, honestly, if the Knolls had scattered it out before we even showed up, it could be possible that they just thought that it was defenseless to begin with. And I don't think any villager in their right mind was just going to run down to try and take on how many ever there were.
Makes sense. To Enoch, then?
I want to report. Keep me in the loop.
Will do.
Alright.
So, perception check for those who made it.
Oh, I thought you said persuasion.
No, this is more or less you were looking for someone. Unless you can run with persuasion as more of a way to try and convince people to speed up the process, I guess.
Oh.
You got a 2.
And then pick up, but if we're looking for people, I would have kindness out and about looking as well.
Go ahead and roll for kindness.
So 17.
Okay.
I'll try to ask around and see if I can figure out where he is from people.
19.
From other people.
Okay, so what would it
So
persuasion
for
check be?
persuasion would be a 24.
Okay. Kara, you do not see much, as you are still trying to piece together how a plan like this could be pulled off. With maybe not any sort of superhuman, but at least with a thinking adversary. As for COIL and KELSION, you find that working together, having the charming and colorful and jovial cleric, along with the small, at times unstoppably adorable Tabaxi,
I am baby.
walk up and begin asking. Most people find it pretty easy to at least help you out in the fact of finding a man who, in their own words, seems to be a good man. You head a bit more east in the town than anything else until you hit more of the eastern corner, where you find a more heavy-set human male moving about the town. Black hair with bits of white and gray spotting it, a heavily weathered face, but a calm expression. Bluish-green eyes carry heavy bags as he looks around to the nearest person. He wears a dark robe that's like a blanket over his shoulders and arms, being placed over a black shirt. Both the robe and shirt are torn at the edges and at certain places. He seems to be going about and, is everything alright? Okay. I'll be back. Excuse me, miss. Then he goes over to the other side of the road and begins talking to another civilian. He puts his head up as he sees you coming. I'll be right back. Steps up. It looks like he has a tooth or two missing, but he walks up with a genuine smile, or at least the best he can.
Pardon me, are you Enoch by chance?
It's Enoch, but...
Enoch, thank you. I and some others are working with Hasala to try and figure out what's going on here.
She's a scary woman.
Yes. I think she's effective, though.
She wants what's best.
So now that I found you, if we may have your ear for a moment.
You see that he kind of looks around to the colorful lot that is standing around him. Menagerie, right?
Correct, yes.
I heard word and I actually wanted to come check you all out. Sorry, haven't really had the time.
Understandable, yes. So we have a working theory as to the arsonist's goals, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And if you'd be willing to cooperate, we have a plan of sorts to lure the arsonist into a easier to catch position.
Something that's gonna keep him from hurting others.
Yes. We think that they are trying to destabilize Kruldirk by going after the former mayor, your predecessor, as well as respected members of the town.
Thybin was a good man, but he had his problems. If the goal is to destabilize, this person's doing a pretty good job. A lot of people are rattled.
Unfortunately so. However, if this theory is correct, I'm afraid that might put you rather high on the list of targets.
I try to be a bit smarter than most folk, I believe, that are being hit. I try to sleep in different places each night.
Very wise of you. Our current... we do not know why the arsonist is doing this, but if you'll agree with us, we're hoping to use your position as something the arsonist might target on, so that way ourselves and Hasala can capture the arsonist.
You want to use me as bait?
Not necessarily use you as bait, because we don't want to put you in harm's way. But it's something that we need to discuss.
I wish that we had gotten Hasala to come with us so we could talk that as a group.
Yeah.
Um,
We definitely plan ahead.
yeah, that would have been a good thing to plan ahead on. Alright, somebody else can do the talking. My voice hurts.
Unless you want to deal with
Yeah.
me talking, then. To be fair, I'm pretty sure I have the highest persuasion out of everyone in the party, but.
Nicholas.
If I can be frank,
Please.
I-
Sorry.
I'm sorry. Have I done something?
No, she's always like this.
All right. No hard feelings.
You've deeply upset this
I know,
man.
I'm sorry.
You are a very disturbing image, to say the least. SAAKA is not the most approachable person. You have offset him. Sorry. He kind of nods and takes a step back. I am wanting to help others, but if I'm to paint myself a target, excuse you. What guarantee do I have that I can be safe? As much as I care for the people, I'd like to keep my skin.
There are a few ways we can go about this. My current thought is to... have you ever seen Chicken Run? Is to build a...
Sorry.
quickly and surreptitiously build a basement or dig a basement beneath wherever you are residing. So that way, if the place goes up in flames, you will be perfectly fine beneath it and away from it.
That's incredible. What? How many of you can dig that fast?
There's a lot of us here, and you're a town of miners. I'm certain there's one or two of people that you trust specifically to speed in this manner. It doesn't have to be a thing that happens tonight, but...
You see that he kind of thinks to himself and he goes, not trying to interrupt, but
That was just my original thoughts. Don't criticize me.
you think that this arsonist wouldn't perhaps realize that a whole bunch of yes is going into a house, ripping up plywood from the floor, and digging a hole?
He says he goes place to place every night.
Yes.
In this whole town,
Yes.
do you not think there is one house with already a built-in basement or a cellar of some kind?
Okay. Well, Half-Orc has a good idea. Alright, let's go somewhere where there's already a basement. So I regret everything.
You haven't hit intelligence +5 yet. So when you hit the +5, you get the
SAAKA, give me the book! If you give me the book, this wouldn't have happened!
You don't deserve the book.
I deserve the book!
You do not.
I got us out of the bad place.
He got us out of the bad place.
That's not true at all.
You get it when you deserve it.
Sure, you deserve, weirdo, meanie.
That is not going to get you the book.
I'm going to leave you.
You don't do any of that in character.
That character started shouting at SAAKA to give me the book.
No, that was so in character. Your voice goes up 2 octaves.
Yeah. Karen turns into a whiny teenager.
Call SAAKA a meanie.
What do you, COIL?
Slaps your hand away.
No book! Book!
SAAKA's holding it up. And Karen's
Sorry.
I'm dying on the inside.
You're just giving this hateful look. You're like,
Okay.
So your
we
plan is to
backtrack
find a
30
building.
steps,
Sure.
and SAAKA gives that plan first.
So you want me to stay in a basement and just announce that I'm going there for the night?
We would like you to announce to the town that the mines are going to be reopening again because the arsonist, whoever they may be, loves destabilization. And if they see that you are...
Coil is trying to reach his hand in the air as high as
I
he
grab
can.
Coil's hand, lean
Picks him
close.
up.
What is it, child?
We need to find a place to have people look like they're mining. Why don't we just use the mines?
We can't have him go to the mines because you can't burn the mines.
You
That makes it
They are
difficult
coal
to
mines.
base the arsonist in there.
They are coal mines, that's true.
Bacon.
One day later, just entire thing of coal smoke is rising out of the mine. Just like, well, there goes their livelihood. So how about that live arsonist, huh?
No, it was a good idea.
No, it can go either way.
Yeah. That could be our plan B. No. The arsonist loves destabilization. So if they think that you, as new acting mayor, has decided to try to bring the town together again, and then you can find a place with a basement and establish it as your home base, your home office, whatever you would like to call it. And then we can go from there.
And you don't have to announce it. Nothing so obvious, but merely posting a guard or two of Hasadas outside would be subtle indication as to your presence, but not so obvious as to be clear bait.
She doesn't have to know we are watching, and you can try to find safety within the place, building, wherever you choose.
I'll let you know.
Preferably by tonight.
Have the paper on my desk
Uh-oh.
by this morning.
I'm supposed to make an announcement, find a place, and board up and hope within the next several hours.
No, just
Yes.
let us know whether or not you're on board for the plan.
I'm getting 2 different messages.
We're a democracy, you see.
Persuasion or intimidation at this
Should I
point?
give you guys a moment?
Perhaps he is right that it would be very quick to make all these plans.
Fine. Take your time.
But the longer and the more nights we wait, who knows what the arsonist might be planning. So no pressure, but a little bit of pressure.
Tomorrow night.
Done.
As if you're negotiating a deal.
It's like...
20 gold pieces.
Hi guys, I need my gardening gloves. They're gonna be, Is it possible for you to get over?
I'll talk with some of my people. I'll see if I can't get things together. Make it look convincing.
That would be appreciated.
In the meantime, try not to pull too much attention.
For certain.
I feel like out of any group, the arsonist's gonna be watching. It's yours.
Been there, done that.
In that case, let's conclude this. It's not a very private location.
As far as I heard, you don't have to, but just to cheer people up, we have some youngsters that are throwing a party in a barn house, not just
Coil's eyes widen immediately.
Southwest corner of the place. They're just trying to cheer people up. I don't know if that's necessarily a target, but it could be where the eyes of the arsonist could be. Perhaps if you guys are there, they'll be watching you and not us while we're making our preparations for tomorrow.
That is a very good idea.
But all in all, you may just want to go to have a good time. As far as the rumors are, you've had a very stressful few days.
Coil just starts aggressively pulling on Kair's coat.
Yes.
Go to the party, go to the party, go to the party, go to the party.
I think we are going to the party as guards.
I don't think he's allowed to even be a guard.
I was more or less saying that you go and just have fun. It would be pretty foolish the arsonist to waltz in and play something that everyone's going to keep their eyes out for and walk out.
Yes.
I feel like if you just go there, and if my theory's right, maybe we won't get an attack if you guys are simply blending in.
We know how to blend in.
We can do our best.
If she's younger too, maybe she's using that to try blending in.
You find a girlfriend and it's the murderer.
I am 9.
She's
Usually
12.
That's not much of a difference, my man. Plus, can he be a guard? That's like child abuse. At 9? You have a job, you're a guard, live with it.
Hey, I don't know what time era it is,
Hey,
but child
dude,
labor laws
labor
are not a
unions
thing.
were not a thing.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? We just killed like how many kids? Do you know what?
They're
we
not.
don't even
They
care.
were
We're
spirits.
spirits.
It's fine.
A child
They don't
spirit.
count.
Dude, a child spirit is just as much as a child as I am.
That's just killing a
child.
child twice.
Hey, I know your dad wants.
It's like the people. Okay, actually, no. Let's not have this conversation on mic. Let's go.
I want to
Proceed.
I'll tell you.
You about to see the comment list? Just like
The day is yours. You'll have to wait for tonight if any of you are going to join in on the party.
I will cry if I don't.
Nate, the player, will cry. It is a promise.
persuasion
I
check.
want to go to the rave.
In that case, I guess make ourselves useful. I think would be the
Yeah.
right thing to do, right?
Yeah.
I do want to go investigate the items that I have procured and see if I can begin researching them and discern what the story is, and at least plot out research.
With your notes,
Yes.
make an investigation check. Saaka, are you going to be cracking open the book?
Well, fuck.
One of your dice just went to the shadow realm.
It decided it wanted to be
You
outside.
crack open the book or you just hold it above them?
You?
Sorry. Her character is at the moment is eating breakfast still.
Can you send me the book? Because I just want to look at it. Because I don't have it.
I've already sent it to you. I'll send it to you
I
again.
didn't save it, I'm sorry.
Just scroll up,
I
my
didn't
guy.
fit that.
Alright.
Yeah, I swear I saved it. I guess I didn't.
Go outside.
Did you
Oh,
get it?
buddy.
I got it. That's fine.
You hear Bell just scoop it up as you're trying to reach for it.
Yikes.
Investigation.
Wow.
As a total?
It is
Thank you.
not just tricky, but in the moment, you actually don't really have a grasp of what you're looking at. This is vast and leagues above your own. This person may have liked what they saw, or at least saw a chance within a wizard in general, or someone with an academic mind for the arcane. But more or less, this could have been a desperate attempt to find out the question that's been burning in its mind. You don't know if you can actually do this looking at it in the moment.
What's your investigation, my guy?
I rolled real bad. That's delightful. That's how I spend my day.
What are these notes?
What the numbers? What do they mean?
The numbers, Mason. What do they mean?
And what are you guys doing? Well, I'm
Crying.
crying.
I'll just probably just try to find just somewhere I can help out. There's not much I can really do for right now.
I want to go find food for this poor town.
Mm-hmm.
Being useful to the community.
And you're
I feel about that.
So you want to try and collect a hunting party.
Mm-hmm. Can I? And I'm like,
So, who are you looking for specifically?
Someone that looks like they have experience. Not like guards, but people that actually go outside.
Make a persuasion check. 8. Looking about, none of these people look like they'd be proficient in any sort of combat. Like it looks like maybe one or two of them does trapping, not quite going out and hunting. However, as you begin to get a bit discouraged, the same large, white-haired minotaur, Brolda, walks up, your friend. I heard that you want to go out and kill something.
Yeah, I do. The town needs food. Because it's the...
Baroque. Even you know that with a day we're not solving any food problems.
It could help stock up the food department a little bit.
For what?
Well, it
Maybe
depends
an
on
hour?
what it is. Yeah. But it's something. It's an hour longer than an hour less. I'm just kidding.
I will hit you.
Trying to help the town, man. What do you want me to do? Go put my mining clothes on and get the mining? Come on,
As
everybody. We'll
entertaining as
whistle
that
and
would
sing
be.
together as we work. Right when the sun comes up till the sun goes down.
Don't ever say that again. I'll go with you. Come on. Evidently something's got to keep you busy.
Thank you. Person that gets me.
Within the day, either setting a trap or attempting just to catch something, nothing large is in the area. There's no big game deer or anything like that. More or less small animals. Anything from a squirrel to rabbits.
Saw a wandering old man walking down the road. He became food too. No, I'm just kidding.
We're not serving long pork at the party. It's not a good to do.
excuse me.
Long pork? Beef? Never mind. We're not engaging in cannibalism at the party.
Okay.
Okay.
Besides that, are any of you talking, saying, doing anything?
When it becomes closer time to actually begin the party, let's discuss how we're handling the party.
Well, we're not there to be guards, we're just there to be a presence, more or less.
True, but I don't think it's right to totally forget our purpose.
Have fun, but keep an eye out, I guess. Don't make it look obvious that you're trying to look out for something while just being there.
You have the perfect excuse. You have a child. We could go round.
That he keeps
Right.
forgetting.
Perfect excuse.
I have not forgotten the child.
You let him get captured and run off into an alleyway.
I had
This is
Kindness
information
watching
I don't
him the
believe
entire
Kelsion
time.
knows.
Kindness had an eye on the situation. Everything was
You
okay.
know how many times you lost him?
Or how many times he's charged into battle?
Okay, that's not my fault. He does things beyond my control, and that's the nature of being a parent.
You're gonna have to save a whole
Don't
person
punish
spell
at
for him
all.
alone.
Yeah.
So maybe stick with him the entire time.
When have I let him out of my sight?
Okay, you know the very no, not even gonna go there.
Talking crap now.
Okay, alright. Back to
Remember when
not
the
judging.
boat sank and
Yeah.
you weren't in any control of anything, and that's totally your fault?
The boat sinking is my fault now.
You let him eat rats.
All right,
and
back
then
on,
you know?
back on track.
It's what he does. He's a cat.
Good boy.
If you
Look at him. He loves rats.
If you used your divination magic and knew that we were going to be attacked, why didn't you warn the guards?
Because the cards didn't tell me. They're very selective. Unlike your mother.
God. That was
KO just destroyed this man.
In-canon arguments in my head right now are on fire.
Coil is learning some new uses of vicious mockery.
I'd smack you if I didn't think I'd accidentally kill you.
Okay. I will at least leave Kindness on the perimeter, watching, and I will keep an eye personally on COIL. Neither of you are making eye contact with me.
No, because I make eye contact with you, I'm going to start laughing again.
I don't know what's in canon and what's not anymore. And that's the best part about this.
Probably most of that argument.
No.
No,
Because I brought up things that my character would not know about.
Yeah. I was thinking you like, I personally will watch my child. Anyway.
This has a much sadder context once Coil's dead.
Once.
Jaron already has a plan out.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, and when I
Exactly.
become a third cleric and just destroy all the balance in your game.
Assuming that it isn't already, with 2 barbarians and 2
Hey
clerics.
man,
Yeah. Alright.
So I don't blend in well anywhere.
we all need to feel live.
Do I party? I don't think I've ever gone to a
No,
party.
party hardy.
At least I don't think my parties have been anything like your parties.
Does it look like I party?
You're old. I don't know what you've done.
You can just go die for all I care. Old man. You're basically in a grave already.
SAAKA opens the tavern door, no lights are on. Care, what are you doing in here? Why are all the lights off? What are you doing under your covers?
No, Coil goes over and taps on Sokka's leg.
Yes, Coil.
He pretends like he's trying to whisper to make sure Kao's not unable to hear him, but he is not trying at all to make himself not heard. He doesn't go to parties, he goes to book clubs.
Secure. Thanks. I high five Coil.
I try to reach up, but he tries to reach up, but he's too short.
She leans down a little bit, allows you to hop up.
He has to jump.
Use those cat abilities.
This is delightful.
From a standing position, his jump height is 6 inches.
I live down. I'm not that tall, actually.
We've got nothing done.
No,
Alright.
too.
I think we've done everything we can actually plan for the party, I guess. Because your 2 plans are just to go,
Be a presence
be a
and
presence,
watch
yeah,
without
try and
make
enjoy
ruckus.
yourselves.
is it wise for me to go? I think that was my question. As I don't blend in well, there is a lot of children.
It has always been.
I'm not allowed around those.
It has always been interesting. A note to Care and the others is the fact that although each one of you is a very different figure than most humanoids that you walk around the city or town streets that you've been in, SAAKA more than most with an owlbear pelt of pure black on her darker, not armor pieces, but pieces of hide that almost looks like leather on her features, her hair, her race in general. She's a much more dark and drab figure that cuts an outline to just the mild or even brighter figures of your groups and the others. It is interesting to see her be in the midst of a group and stick out like a sore thumb, surprisingly, even though she wears such dark clothing. But the aura she gives off is very clear when she's in crowds.
We're not necessarily even trying to blend in. The idea is that the arsonist is watching us nonetheless. It's probably better that you stay with the group than split up during nightfall.
Alright, but if a child starts crying, it was not my fault.
It's true.
Understood. In that case, are we routes ready, I suppose?
Are you and DATH'TAN, KELSION, going to do some magic tricks?
I'm not allowed to do magic.
Oh.
What about
who is?
tricks?
Most of my performances were magic based.
Mm.
In terms of practical tricks, more DATH'TAN.
Mm.
The thing with the knives, yes.
Very entertaining.
Yes, quite.
Jaron's just like, I'm gonna fucking kill someone.
No, that was DATH'TAN.
DATH'TAN's like, I'm gonna fucking kill someone.
DMs out there know my pain.
Yeah.
It's okay. Okay. Yes, Barack?
I'm gonna turn into my wolf.
Okay.
In the middle of town?
No. No.
You gave that more thought.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, and scare the heck out of the town folks.
So, just as a part of your hunting, is there a reason?
Yes, for the hunting.
Okay.
And then when we come back to the party,
It would
I'm
most-
just a dog.
A dire wolf, not a dog.
Reminder that a dire wolf is a 10 by 10 foot square it
Yeah.
occupies.
Yes.
Very big.
He's
You're
saying you
a dog
fat.
in the sense that you are also the size of a horse.
It's not like someone's gonna be like, oh, puppy.
Yeah.
And then...
They
Yeah,
probably
you
see
are not-
you
oh,
and say-
puppy.
They probably see you and say, kill it with fire.
Instead of a horse ride,
Oh, no, okay,
a
that's
wolf ride.
I
For
will,
the child.
I will say this for the sake of you have lived with this long enough to know you have not gotten a great reaction from any town guard and or normal human being you've walked up to in that form.
Oh, puppy.
More of Mother of God, what is that thing?
It's a puppy. Big puppy.
As night falls, if I misspoke, the barn is located in the northeast part of town, which it is not hard to catch as you walk through the town roads. There's the beginning of the sounds of music beginning to be picked up. As you come across this barn, it's what you'd expect from a town as simple as this. It's not colorful. Large, dark, brown wooden planks make up the large frame of this place. A gambrel roof of wooden shingles, a massive double door set with a simplistic metal handle for each door. A second story door, as you begin approaching, is remaining tightly closed. The bottom doors are swung open, revealing the interior. 3 beams to your left and right make a hall that holds up the second floor above. Several holes within the wooden planks in the second floor allow you to look up and see what is a potentially or could be leaking roof, as some of it still looks damp from the heavy storm that had set in and passed. Ladders set on either side of this barn, flanking the center support beams, just right in the center, in between the second and third. That leads you up to the second floor. The first floor, as you see it, is base. The dirt ground having no real decor or detailing. No stables are within it, just filled with, at this point, still drying and damp hay bales in the corners. Stacked up or unwound and allowed to fall loose on the ground, scattered about. Several lanterns and candles are set about the edges of the barn, illuminating a soft light that grants a warm welcome at this point as night is beginning to fall as the sun has set recently. Some of these lights are placed on barrels nearby or just set right next to the support beams. Several people are already here, having beaten you. They are sharing small talk, and a few smiles have already begun to spread amongst the crowds for what feels like the first time since you've been here. Some carry string instruments and are already plucking at them, testing to see if they're ready to be played. As you arrive, some of the people look to you, others don't bother you or pay attention. A young man, upon seeing that a good group has come along with you, turns to the ones holding instruments in the back of the barn. Within a few seconds, they all begin to strike up a tune, and within minutes, people begin to join in on either laughing or dancing. Some stick to the sides, holding on to jars or bottles of different drinks or alcohols that they have with them. Some of them have brought snacks or what they could to bring food to this sort of arrangement and party. Telling jokes and striking up stories about themselves or others and good memories they've had with one another. It's a shelter from what is a constant downpour of depression for these people. A place these civilians can come to forget for the moment. And now, you're amongst them. A night of actual celebration and rest ahead of you. What do you wish to do?
I'm gonna have kindness in the night sky above the barn, just keeping a watchful eye out for the exterior.
Okay.
And then I personally am gonna be watching COIL and basically just making sure he doesn't disappear.
Okay.
As soon as they're like not actively playing, like in between songs, COIL fucking books it over to the band playing.
Okay. You rush over. Most of them are half-elves or humans, each one carrying some sort of string instrument, one that seems to have like made a makeshift drum out of a barrel.
He pulls out his mandolin. Can I play with you guys?
Of course you can.
He does a little riff to show like, hey, this is something I'm decent at.
They all kind of look amongst each other. There's 5 of them in total as they look to you. Come on in.
COIL is ecstatic.
The kid talks in match.
Playing different tunes and songs, it continues with a much more lively energy as the child is bouncing amongst them all. Some begin partaking in different activities, either from arm wrestling to what seems to be a game of tug-of-war. Some beginning to throw in copper and silver into the mix of what they have to spare.
We'd like to win us some gold coins.
Copper and silver, no gold.
Say that again.
Gold coin? No.
What do I have to do?
Engage in tug-of-war and
Oh.
/war arms wrestling.
I'm down.
I'm gonna rip off someone's arm.
You see that as you pay attention to the center, which has made space in the dancing, as there are still some partners that are dancing and having a good time, more in the center of this space of the barn, There is now a tug-of-war game that has been picked up, more of a 1v1, as the rope is not thick or long enough to carry a full team on either side. A line is drawn across in the middle with several sticks placed there, and the two targets pull against one another. You notice so far, Care, that someone who's racked up, at this point, probably 20 or so silver and probably 13 copper, is what looks to be one of the Bygone Guard, actually. Just placed there, or maybe just came here to help enjoy the fun. But his helmet is now off, although he still wears the armor. He seems decently fit, darker hair, blue eyes, but you notice that along with a very well-kept beard that there are streaks of silver or gray hairs. He seems to be mid-40s, maybe his 50s. An older guard, more experienced. But so far, he's won against those who have challenged him specifically.
Go on, Carrie, you got this.
Like hell I do.
-1 strength dies.
Don't think that would be good for me.
Everyone's goofy
Last
We're
time I
out of the
tried-
prison. We can be goofy.
Yeah.
Last time I tried physical exercise, my arm was pulled out of its sockets.
Last time you tried something physical, you managed to beat DATH'TAN in a shoving match.
I foresaw that.
If you're trying to make a positive, like a
I will be right
positive, like
beside
an ad for people, it would
It's a
probably be
1v1.
Yeah, no.
Okay, that's fine.
So if anything, you'd be like coming into the town around this time.
You gonna try?
Depends on who I have to face.
Faces
Probably that
coil.
I'm assuming it's that guard.
You see that he's sitting there, drinking a tankard, leaning up against the wall right next to a barrel with the lantern on it.
Yeah. Sure. I'll give it a go.
As you walk up to the center, you see what looks to be a small girl. She's resting on a barrel up against a beam. She has auburn hair that falls past her face. She has a hoodie that kind of covers some of her features, and a cape that runs past her that she sits on. She looks maybe 10. But you do notice that as you walk up, she is shoeless and her left foot is cleft. But she kind of just sits there with a big smile on her face, and she goes, "Whoa!"
Hi there.
Devin,
Oh. Care? What's happening?
you got a challenge. You see the guard kind of looks into his cup before he sets it down.
Care.
Pops his neck a little. Walks forward. I saw you earlier.
I did not see you earlier.
At least you're being honest. Care to add something to the pot?
Do I have money?
You assuredly have money of some sort. If not, I will squat you.
Care wants the silver.
Kira's like, alright, 50 gold, I'm gonna bankrupt this town.
That'll make it wealthy. They're like, gold coins! Finally, we have some form of higher commerce.
That's appropriate for things like this.
I think perhaps maybe like 10 silver.
What are these rookie numbers?
This is not a
50
rich
gold
town.
coins.
I put in 10 silver.
You should slap in one
You see
gold
that
coin.
the girl next to her has a small can that she's using and puts it up to you. Just this small, it looks like a tankard itself.
Just put in.
It is starting to look pretty full with silver and copper. So at this point, 30 silver, 13 copper.
Yeah.
She sets it next to her. Go ahead!
She takes off her Albert cloak and her sword. She hands you fearful this.
Oh fuck!
It's half
I know.
Karen's body weight.
I'm like suddenly like sitting down, holding it like.
When you take that off your hands.
You would at least be able to hold a great sword. It is not easy.
Okay.
Oh, I'll walk
You are
over
feeling
to
the
try
strain.
and take it off of his hands.
It's hefty.
Yeah.
She has pretty good control of it. It's not like well balanced or anything. It is pretty heavy on the bladed end,
Yeah.
as
And
it
my
is
cloak
more
just
one-sided.
kinda rode on top of
Charlie
you.
blinded. Dang, sucker.
You see that he's beginning to like stare at you, almost as if he's reading you, as he's taking off his gauntlets.
Okay.
Have I seen you from somewhere before?
Probably not.
See this pistol.
He grabs onto his side of the rope and just waits.
Okay.
Wanted posters?
Probably not. Or, well, possibly.
He ends up just strangling her with
think
a
about
rope.
that.
He strangles her with a rope. Just a toaster.
Yeah.
That's all you say to that? Yeah, you can strangle
Yeah.
me. With the rope, it's okay.
Borrow time.
She just accepts death.
This is good tug-of-war
Yeah.
music.
Yeah.
Perfect. I'm trying to find the right one.
No, this is
yeah,
perfect.
this is the right
Neil
one.
Vax's theme starts playing.
No.
Crap, no. It's not what I wanted.
Not yet.
Alright. There you go. Okay. As he holds onto his end and you pick up the other.
The harder you look, the more you probably won't get.
Now, I served my time in a few different troops before I met the bygone.
Mm-hmm. Congratulations.
Ran into quite a few mercenary groups on the field.
It's different. How we do a little less yapping, a little more tugging?
Somebody clip it.
Oh, we already did.
He kind of blinks twice.
Is that it? Are you coming on to me? What is it?
You can go away. No.
You could have owned that and really made that work for you, but you broke down.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could have demasculated him, but now you're just breaking.
Anyway.
Yeah, no more yakking. Tugging it is.
Yikes.
You ready?
Sure thing, Grave Taker.
She.
Piece her pants.
If that is who it is.
Would you like to know? Let's start.
The kid goes 3, 2.
Punch the nuts.
At 1, he pulls against you.
Soccer's a
Little barbarian.
On 20.
Okay. As you pull back, as he pulled a little bit early, you catch him by surprise and he slides a few inches and his feet are just at the line, but he's not breaking yet. You see that he wraps his forearm around with the rope and then he pulls back again. One more time. Pretty good.
22.
22. You pull, but he holds his ground this time and gains just a few centimeters, giving himself another foothold. The two of you are still pulling back and forth. His arms are straining, and yours are beginning to feel the burn at this point.
24.
Natural 1.
I got a natural 19.
Pull, and he falls right on the ground, right at your feet. He's kind of face first in the dirt.
Don't ever call me that again.
Tell me, how many people are at your feet like this?
Not enough.
Too many for me to count. She walks away.
He gets up, dusts himself off. The girl goes to get you the can and then just sees you walk away.
I will take that for her.
Who are you?
I'm with communication skills over there.
I'll love
Make
to
a
see.
persuasion check.
I would love to see the
That's
fight
quite the
between
way
you
to
two for
phrase
this
it
coin.
to a girl.
Yikes.
That's a 18 persuasion.
Okay. She busted out to you.
Saaka, where are you going? Didn't you? Thank you.
She just pours it into your hands.
all like
It starts pouring out.
Saaka. I pour it into a bag. I'm like gonna like wander after Saaka, try and find her in this mess. After I glance towards COIL and make certain he's still playing in the band section.
He's just vibing.
He's just vibing.
Nah, he's playing with the band, yeah.
Alright, that was fun.
Easy way for cash. Make Saaka beat up someone.
I rolled really good.
Yeah, you did.
Well, also you're a barbarian.
That's true.
How much gold did I just
Silver.
Silver.
silver?
Copper.
Money is the term.
30 silver, 13 copper, I believe.
Monies.
30 and 13. Gotcha. Okay.
Do I actually catch up to Saaka? Or do
She's walking off, not really in a full-on sprint. She's more storming away. With a small jaunt, you could probably catch up to her.
That was 30 silver and 13 copper. Not bad at all, I would say.
I don't want it.
It'll go towards the child then. That's fine. What? I'm not gonna ask.
You're
Give
a wizard, Harry.
the child. I hand you. Sorry, I'm trying to.
It
do
is
math in my
impressive
head.
how quickly Saaka is doing math. And
Give the child 5 silver. The one that gave you the money.
Oh, okay.
Besides that, I don't want it.
Understood. I'm gonna take out 5 silver pieces. I'm gonna take out no. What
Challenge her to a wrestling contest.
expecting the gold coin.
my small arm against your cleft foot.
We have to engage in child fights between COIL. No.
He would.
Disable.
I'm talking about
Kick
Care
your
with
ass.
like his small arm. And
Yeah, that's about it. No.
I would just do blindness, deafness, and the round would just be over.
I'm gonna take a moment and like bend the coin a little bit. Just a little bit. Not super far.
make a strength check.
Oh gosh.
You
It
just
won't
look
be
at your
super
shoulder,
hard,
like-
but
11.
okay.
12 minus 1.
Dies.
You get it to. I mean, it's real.
Mhm.
It's a real coin you are trying to bend. It does.
Okay.
But not super easy.
Okay. I'm gonna take particular note of exactly what that coin looks like. I'm gonna add 4 more coins to that, and then I'm gonna return to the child.
She's still just sitting there, and she's yelling at another two. Come on! They're just going back and forth.
I patiently wait for the 2 to finish, clap when that's over, and then going to approach the child and say, the Half-Orc lady said that these 5 are yours from her winnings.
She reaches out.
I put the 5 coins in her hand.
Thank you, mister. She kind of realizes she doesn't have a money pouch or anything, so just sets them on her left side and sits on it with her thigh.
You'd have to thank the Half-Orc, but maybe not now. Maybe another day.
Okay.
And I'm gonna walk away. Just
What's your name?
Oh god, interaction. I gave her a weird look. Care.
I'm Allie.
Nice to meet you, Allie. I put out like 3 fingers to have her shake them.
She grabs it and shakes. Her big green doe eyes are just kind of looking you up and down.
Are you, that soldier's daughter by chance?
No?
No? Oh,
Devin was just nice to me.
very cool. Sorry, I'm trying. Children are difficult to interact with.
Big ups, kid.
The father of the gun.
Big ups, kid. I see. Did he put you in charge of managing bets?
No, I just started convincing people.
That is very impressive, actually. It's very difficult to convince people to part with their coins.
Has a side hustle.
Big thumbs up.
Low key, she's just balling in money at home. We don't
She
even
kind of
know.
leans in and whispers that to you. She doesn't just say that
Yeah.
aloud.
I point to Coil up on the stage.
I actually have a son not that much younger than you. He's the Tabaxi boy over there on the stage.
Aww. He's cute.
I think so. He's pretty good at the mandolin as well.
I taught them how to play death metal.
You're up there playing the trooper with the mandolin.
No, like Cannibal Corpse. just most black of black metal. Even though those are different things.
No, man, you're supposed to sing "Well Back in Black" like you said earlier.
That's hard rock at most.
Anyway.
I don't know what. I'm not gonna get into the semantics of.
If we stay here for long, maybe I arrange a play date for you two. I know Coil does not actually get down too much.
I would roll psychic damage just for the sake of it, but considering I could kill you, I'm not going to.
Yeah.
Nate.
Have a stroke.
It makes sense, you rolls.
Brain melt, just die right there. I could roll a d12 and have a chance of straight killing you.
Life's hard for wizards.
And old.
Yeah, wait till you're flying around throwing spells like there's no other. When you become a magical item.
Yeah.
So I was trying to say something.
Nate's breaking.
Everyone's been breaking today.
Everyone's been breaking all day.
Anyways, play.
That was it. I'm trying to politely disengage from conversation with this child.
Tell her you're busy. Like any
Your
other
coat-
adult.
Your coat's very fun.
My coat?
Yeah.
That's interesting. Why'd you say that?
She could rob it from
I
you.
just like it. It's patchy like my pants. You see there's many sewn parts knitted together just much like your own.
I inspect a few of these, the ones on my coat.
I actually had to do most of these myself.
Same.
The needlework isn't very good.
Same.
I can't right now. This is so.
Does no one take care of you then?
No. Devin helps and he's nice, but I look out for myself.
I see. That has to be very rough for you.
She just kind of shrugs.
Well, I hope those coins.
I
think I miscounted.
I pull out 5 more silver pieces and put them next to the pile of other 5 that SAAKA has already given
She's
her.
covering the first 5 with her thigh, kind of sitting.
Okay,
so
I'll just
no one
put them
can see.
next to her on top of the
She
thing
lifts
with-
the lantern next to her and sets it down over the coins.
That's actually very smart. Don't let others see that you have that. I need to go make certain that Coil doesn't wander off as he does. I hope you have a good rest of your night.
You too, mister.
And then I.
Bye, Care.
You have a good evening.
She is so the arsonist.
She is either the arsonist or going to die. And I don't know which is more concerning.
Yeah.
I bet she's the richest person in town. She
Yeah.
hustles on everybody. She's like, yeah, let's
She's
put
the
it
real
in.
winner.
Like 5 coins always drop in her pocket. Sounds like someone's trying to fight out of a target.
Someone's stuffing Allie into a to a bag already.
Like,
She's
turn
so
around.
already a corpse. They're already getting the bag. For
I
her.
haven't even turned around. Come on, guys.
White chalk's already spread.
On the same table.
Yeah.
Alright, I am watching Coil, just cheering him on, keeping an eye out, kind of just for the crowd, but mostly make certain things are going well. It's like you're going to your children's dance recital, you know?
Gotcha.
I'm trying to show off as much as I can.
Oh, I'm sure.
Is that a thing I'm gonna end up having to roll performance for?
Go ahead.
12.
You're keeping in pace with everyone else playing. Every once in a while, everyone seems to miss a chord or play the wrong one. But overall, it's people aren't complaining. It's still carrying the tune, and it's going perfectly fine.
Okay, your mandolin's still drying out from the leg.
Mm-hmm.
As you have partaken in the celebration, partway through, you see walking through the door is Lux, along with Rolla and Kramer, followed by a few of the work hands. He looks about and puts on a large smile quickly. He joins in and begins dancing with the others, laughing and talking amongst them. Rolla allows Kramer to join the fun, but stays to the sides to watch with smiles coming to her face as she sees her son's excitement. Her own segregation doesn't last long as Lux grabs onto her forearm and pulls her into the center of the crowd, and they both begin to dance together. She's attempting to not smile and enjoy herself, but the two of them are both chuckling as Lux and Rolla dance together. Some of the work hands join in with the band in the back of the barn, playing with them, and the party continues.
Try and secretively give Lux a thumbs up.
He smiles and he walks up to you. Not enjoying yourself?
Parties aren't much my thing, but I'm mostly just making certain the boy doesn't get too far. You know how he is.
You see he looks at Coil. I think he's plenty occupied. Enjoy yourself.
Yes, I will go engage in arm wrestling immediately.
You see he rolls his eyes and grabs onto your forearm and begins attempting to lead you out into the dance.
You gonna try to fight that at all?
You should at least take me out to dinner first.
Not what I had in mind, but now that you say that, I'll keep it in mind.
Bow chicka bow wow.
Come on, have fun.
I try and not laugh, and then I will clumsily try and play along with
Make a
his...
performance check.
Dear God.
Dear God.
Hey man, I rolled a 3 and I got it, okay.
You have pluses to your
The DC for dancing is not, will not be super high.
That's appropriate.
How low are you?
It's a 5.
Excuse me?
Lux is a very energetic person. And when he is having fun, he is having fun. Dancing along with the people who seem to be doing square dancing or dancing with a partner at least. He seems to be doing well. It is very easy to tell upon a glance that he is the one guiding you, as you are more or less just turning in the direction that he is pushing your hand, and you are just kind of turning piece to piece. Your feet are moving, but it is a clumsy and you feel embarrassed. However, Lux doesn't seem to be judging, more laughing with your embarrassment and continuing on.
What are you guys laughing at?
Nothing.
Nothing.
You are not left alone as Lux walks up to Kelsion. Where are you going?
It's your turn.
I'm standing here.
Come on.
I'm certain you could do better than I could.
Oh no, we're trading dancing partners. You're staying.
You severely overestimate my ability to dance.
I'm sure DATH'TAN would be happy to dance with you.
I'm certain.
Please tell me I show up and just witness this.
Go ahead and make a performance check, just for the sake of it.
$18.
18. You were doing much better. You were keeping up, and you have been to a party or so before, having to disguise yourself for some form of ploy that you and DATH'TAN had made, or honestly just joining in on a public party and celebration for the day. You've had your fair share throughout your life of travel and have picked up on how to dance. You are doing much better than your compatriot, who is in the middle looking very awkward. You think and are more or less glad that SAAKA is not in the middle standing there scaring anyone away.
My character dances better than I do.
Is anyone else doing anything?
I think no. I think that's good. Interacting with KELSION and Lux while keeping an eye on COIL is a good way to spend the evening.
Okay.
Can I go check on the mayor guy?
No, we're leaving him alone. That we
Yes.
can plan.
Yeah.
I didn't say I'm good. Okay, let me rephrase that. Can I go see if he's nearby? I can see him in the distance, not walk up to him and be like, "Hey, buddy, how's it going?"
Have a perception check.
I didn't mean to make it sound like I was gonna run up to him. Hey, man, you want to dance?
Hey, can I check up on this guy? That usually implies at least conversing with him for a short while.
I'm assuming I got my sword and my
11.
Yes.
cloak from you
11.
already.
No, I just dance amazing
You feel like
with a
that
great
he is
sword.
more or less trying to stay on the low and speak to the people that he had referenced before. You don't find him with a mere look about.
I flipped the table and demanded. No, I'm just kidding.
Just find a table,
Yeah,
break
just
into someone's
flip
house,
it.
flip their table. The drinks, laughter, and song goes pretty late into the night, until after a while, sleepiness getting the better of some. People brave facing the reality
I thought
of
you
their
were gonna
lives
say
and
something like an explosion happens.
wherever they are sleeping for the night. The work hands, along with Lux, Rolla, and Kramer, head back to the caravan. Kramer having fallen asleep some time ago. Some stay in the barn, thick blankets brought from the second floor down to the first. People huddle together, sharing thick wool blankets as they go to sleep. The sound of cold winds and thundering skies, slowly rolling and making a lulling noise that would make some of you almost nod off just to the sound. It's late. Anything you wish to do?
Did you have a good time, COIL?
It was great.
Did you have a fun time on the dance floor?
Don't talk about it. I am no dancer, even when I was a young man.
You dance lovely, Care.
Thank you.
I want an encore.
Especially if you two together.
You overshadowed me by leaps and bounds.
I'm a bit younger. Joints are a bit less creaky.
That must be it.
That wasn't so bad, all things considered. I don't know if I'd want to go to another party anytime soon, but for COIL's sake, maybe.
Yes, for COIL's. Absolutely. How much money did you get?
No.
20 silver pieces and 13 copper pieces.
Rich. We're rich.
Krolberg is ours.
I almost feel bad taking from them.
What? The guard? Don't. He's not a very nice person.
Yeah, one of the top guards that they really need. Yeah, let's just hit him.
The child who was taking the bets seemed to say otherwise, but I guess I'm not a good judge of character there.
We should have asked the girl if she, knew any other kids around here that are female.
That's totally not creepy for a 55.
Well,
Yeah. Do you know any other girls?
Okay, let's stop it. Let's stop it.
That.
Oh, looking for,
That's also why I was very careful not to ask if there's anyone taking care of her, because that's also super creepy and weird.
I'm just gonna stop.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, you don't know. It's bad. It's bad to do.
Well, let's hope that things are peaceful this evening. We'll talk to the almost mayor tomorrow.
As you have come and joined along with your compatriots, Jedediah goes, I think that it's about time that we head off. Lux was talking about heading out of town.
let's go.
We'll be doing it early morning.
I'm gonna go give whatever we hunted and found, not much, but I'm gonna go give it to the people that make the food.
Looking about, there are just several families or small groups of people that are having some form of cooking setups. It's not like there's official cooks as more as it is just group by group.
I'm just gonna start handing them out.
They are very well appreciated, and they accept them quickly and gracefully. They thank you very much.
No problem.
Any of you doing anything?
Yes.
I think that's it for this evening. Maybe to sleep time.
Sitting around a fire, I'm assuming.
You make your way through the rollers of Cleric. Some of you tired, but fine. Others of you, having partaken in the drinking, feel that the walk is a bit shaky. The menagerie
Is
to
hungover
take
as
their rest
fuck.
as sleep falls to many of you quickly. Others, a little less so, taking your own time, staying up. But sleep comes to find you. And at last, you rest for the night. That's where we're going to end tonight's session.
Alright.
Thank you for listening. Until next time, guys.